And we are live. This is SpotDodge, a live Nintendo podcast where every single week we react to the latest news and some other, we react to the Nintendo news. And then we react to some other cool stuff on the game sphere. Our usual host, Brett Medlock, is a little busy with real life tonight. He'll be popping in and out with us, but he is here in spirit regardless. So, filling in tonight is me, John Frisha, managing editor at The Escapist, an all-around handsome guy. If you're listening on the podcast, take my word for it. And after that, we have Destructoid's social media manager and known polygamist, Mary Stowe, because she has actually been in a relationship with Link much longer than with her husband.
See, I had no doubt, John.
And next up, we have a way cool guy streaming over at Dynamite Giraffe. He benches over 400 pounds, but his biggest muscle is his heart. Greg Vargas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Kind of heartfelt.
I like
And
about the
lastly,
biggest muscle.
well, hold
Yeah,
up a
it
minute
probably
here.
is.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, God.
And lastly, we have the King Daddy Dilf, the man who is so large and in charge that science has not created a condom that can contain him. Brett Larson.
Oh man, Nintendo Family Podcast.
There we go.
I'm
There we
dead.
go.
I'm dead.
I love it.
And finally, we got to give a thank you and a shout out to Eric on the ones and twos for keeping this whole operation going. I don't even know how many platforms we're streaming on these days, but it's all thanks to Eric. So thank you, Eric, for that. And yeah, we should have a really cool show tonight because we, honest to God, know what Tears of the Kingdom looks like to play. And that's our big first topic for tonight.
I gotta say,
Aonuma.
say before we start, if anyone's here, you might as well just leave because we just peaked at the intro. It's not going to get better than that. So.
Tell them that. Let us at least get through Zelda first, and then they can leave.
Yeah.
What's
the
Zelda?
impetus is on you guys.
John's, I live for
girl,
John's
right?
intros.
It's not easy work. But yeah,
You wrote it in the
Aonuma.
last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
literally, yeah. So AG Aonuma is 10 a.m. ET. They dropped like 13-minute video or something like that where AG came on screen. He's actually talking about the game as something you can play, and they showed off some footage, and they showed off, I think, a grand total of like 4 new abilities, and we're probably just gonna break it down piece by piece. But I don't know where do you guys want to start? Any of you particularly excited to jump into any one aspect?
I'm always excited to talk about Zelda, but I'm of course the idiot that was
Do
like,
it.
please give us a little bit of story, and we got nothing.
Nope.
But I was like, you know what? I'm absolutely happy. They showed more gameplay than I thought they would. I didn't expect them to be like, here's 4 abilities. Is there more
Yeah.
than 4? We don't know, but
Right.
4 new abilities is like a lot, especially with what they've shown us so far.
Mhm.
Which has been pretty much
yeah,
nothing
I'm
before
trying to
now.
think,
Nothing. Yeah.
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 Which
is
is
something.
Look at the piece of the sky. Now look at this rock. All right, we'll see you next time.
Now look back at the sky.
Yeah.
Broken Master
Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah.
Oh, mystery.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the irony, right? Like all the other things were kind of story based, but we don't know anything about the story either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we still don't know
Like,
nothing.
Yeah.
Like
there
out
was-
of context
there was
spoilers.
the trailer with all that voiceover from the bad guy, and they haven't even confirmed that it's Ganon. We just kind of think it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
So, yeah.
I have to say, I think Nintendo has a personal issue with me watching their shows live because every time they do them, right as my work starts, it started conveniently at 7 a.m. My work starts at 7 a.m. So of course I couldn't watch it when it happened.
But Larson's working. Okay, start the
Yeah.
trailer.
Yep.
7. Okay, cool. Let's roll it. Let's roll it.
Yeah, roll. He's on a bathroom break. Let's start. Let's go.
I have to say, I'm not gonna like take it away or anything, but when it first started out, for a minute I was like, ooh, this is kind of like it's the same map. You're like when he's on the horse running around, you're seeing like the same enemy types. You go to that village and you hear the same music from the village from Breath of the Wild. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the same game. And then finally he goes like shoots up into the air and goes to the Sky Island. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
at first I was
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh my god, I was like very underwhelmed for a second.
Yeah,
Honestly-
it took a couple minutes, but Yeah, go ahead.
I'm surprised that more games don't reuse maps. Like the two that come to mind are whenever Far Cry, it was like the one with like woolly mammoths and stuff. I can't remember.
Oh, the Primal.
Yeah, Primal
Yeah.
reused Five's map, but like made it like way long ago. And and then a recent one was Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and I was like, this is perfectly fine. Like you don't need to recreate all of New York for the game. Like
They should though.
that like cut down probably a year of development just
Yeah.
by reusing the same map.
I would say the thing with Primal though is it was from Far Cry 4 because it went Far Cry 4 Primal.
Oh, 4
5.
to Primal. Okay.
But with Primal, even though it was the same layout, like you would have never known that except for some freak went on and like looked at the shape of the map and figured it out. Like the difference between like the Far Cry 4, I think you're in like I don't know, Malaysia or something like that. I don't even remember. But then Primal, when you're like, you know, a caveman or whatever, like they didn't feel at all the same. So at least that one, yes, they did reuse like the same map assets, but it felt very different, at least in that aspect.
I just think with a world like Breath of the Wild that was so big and so much of the space was unused, they could just fill it in a sequel. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not sure if there's a lot of complaints about it. Maybe there's not, but I feel like there probably is.
What do you mean unused? Like the water area, or like do you mean unused?
Like there's tons of huge fields that they could drop a temple in, or a different type of puzzle. Or now they're doing the whole sky thing, which, guys, I gotta say, like, is anyone else surprised that this game runs? Like Breath of the Wild at launch and even now, like, doesn't run that great, and it's not taking into account the entire sky above you, like this game is. So they must be like using some black magic or something.
Well, that's I'm gonna say real quick, as has been noted, we have to like remember that Breath of the Wild at the end of the day was a Wii U game. This is like an actual Switch game this time. What were you gonna say,
I was going to say the easy answer for that, where it looks like it's running pretty well, is that's because it's going to get delayed till next year when the Switch 2 comes out.
God,
No,
that's the easy answer for that.
Away.
New cross-gen.
It honestly
that would suck.
It felt really satisfying. It felt really satisfying hearing him say, "We're done with the game. It's fully done."
Like,
dude,
I felt great.
I actually wrote that in my notes as something I wanted to say was like my favorite line from the whole thing is, "We've completed development on Tears of the Kingdom." That was awesome.
Yeah. I wonder if that was recent though, or that has just been like they wanted to make mention of it, because come on, you can't tell me that. They
recorded that a year ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Just was sitting on our shelf.
It just spun a wheel and it said, "Oh, I guess we're releasing it in May."
It's been kicking this around for a while.
They recorded so long. Never mind, that's a dark joke. Never mind. I was gonna say they recorded so long ago that Iwata was the one who originally said that he was
too soon.
Too fucking
soon.
I know. I told you I didn't want to say it.
Gentlemen, that was
anyway,
Brett Medlock. Brett
monster.
Medlock said that. Not any of us. It was Brett Medlock.
The disembodied voice said it.
Right.
It was actually Jim crying Ryan. That's
another way for him to blame something on Sony. It was Jim Ryan.
He would blame it on somebody dead. Jerk.
So while we're talking about that map, then I mean, I'm sure a bunch of channels have already done this comparison, but the one I noticed was Game Explain put out like, I don't know, like a 4 or 5 minute video just doing like the side by sides of the two worlds between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and like, I don't know, but most of what I saw looked more or less the same, maybe slightly better lit, which, I mean, again, if we're going to have like whole new mechanics, like, I mean, that's fine. Yeah. But then also, this is another thing I just wasn't thinking about at the time. When Link like drops out of the sky and you see everything, and it's like really amazing.
Yeah.
They're doing this on the Switch.
Surprised.
It's really cool.
And also take into account that the physics engine that they used from the first game, it's still the same one, but with now those new abilities that seem like they would take a lot more power to use. Like you're combining stuff, you're going through like mountains and everything. Like I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot going on in this game. I'm surprised it runs as good as it looks like it is.
Yeah,
dude, that swimming animation where he goes through the ceiling, Like that alone,
Right
is
that
there.
portal
pretty,
thing.
and like so smartly
Yeah.
done. Like it makes you seem like you're like swimming through the Zelda upside down or something.
Yeah.
It's like an Olympic swimmer, like swimming like a dolphin up through to the top. It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can tell like it's like, I don't know, like he's passing through another dimension or
For sure,
something.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
like, and watching the whole trailer just makes every trick shot video that I've seen just seem like
Dude.
dated and
Yeah.
archaic now.
No, dude, seriously, it's like this just became the ultimate sandbox. Truly,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
if we
Mhm.
hear that,
Yeah.
that's been an overused term, but this truly feels like it has the potential to be like the ultimate sandbox
Have-
game
yeah.
on top of
Yeah.
being.
Have they
great game.
confirmed if the previous abilities are back as well?
I don't think so.
Ooh, I
I
don't
think
know.
so,
I don't
but
think
we
so,
have
though.
seen some of them. Like we've seen Stasis, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so,
I
yeah.
don't know. Did we see?
I think so, yeah.
Well, we didn't see Stasis today. I don't know if we saw it.
Oh no,
Have we seen a
not
different one?
today. But I thought in like a trailer we did though.
In previous ones?
The one
Maybe.
where like you freeze things.
Yeah, that's stasis.
Yeah, I thought.
Or
we
it might
saw-
have been
Okay,
the
it wasn't
Yeah,
a
Eric says it
trailer.
was.
I can't
Okay.
remember.
But it's like
Okay.
crazy to
And
think about,
phrasing.
like,
Okay.
if they wanted to like launch, a rock into the sky to, fly to the, castle or something. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, jump this, cancel this, oh, swap this.
Yeah,
shoot
that's
this. Okay,
insanity.
now I'm gonna.
like-
But then,
Yeah.
like to do that same thing now, it's just like, okay, put a fan on it and forge it,
Right.
Like-
And then
Yeah.
put a
Use
rock
it
on
together.
a stick and hit it with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall from the
But
sky, do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care.
It's really cool because it feels like Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo obviously, I think, pays attention to like the things that people do with their games. And they've said before, I can't remember who said it, that like they're constantly amazed at like what people have accomplished in Breath of the Wild and how like they're pushing the limits of the game's mechanics. And like people are doing things that they never even dreamed that someone would do in Breath of the Wild. And now they're just like, so y'all had so much fun doing all these crazy things. Here's a new set of toys. Go do even crazier things. Like I'm
Yeah.
ready to see someone attach 8 fans to a talus or something and just launch
Yeah.
it into the sky. Like
man.
I wonder
Yes,
too,
sir.
like
Oh,
we mentioned
man.
that, was that a limitation of the, like these mechanics seem too far developed to be like that they just came about in the last couple of years. Like I feel very much that those mechanics were like maybe like an initial plan, but were held back by the Wii U's architecture, maybe.
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 Yeah,
I mean,
possibly. Yeah.
again, like the game started out as DLC and like it just kept adding on until they had a new game. So I mean, who knows?
Now those sky
like they feel deep.
They call them sky temples, didn't they? Or
Sky
something
islands.
like that?
Is
Like
that what you're talking about?
islands, yeah.
sky
Yeah,
islands?
yeah.
Okay. Like, do we think those will end up being like traditional Zelda temples?
Yeah,
or no?
that's what I was
That
going
was
to
like-
I
mention.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Like maybe some of them. I don't think all of them. I think in general it'll end up just kind of being like a new, like this will be like the new gameplay zone of the game.
But okay, so I may be stupid asking this. Like, have they confirmed if this is the same structure as Breath of the Wild? Like, you go into all the different I forgot what they're called now.
I think that like the
Divine
shrines.
Beasts.
So the
Yeah,
so
the
that's-
shrines.
That's
Yeah,
another thing I was
that's what
going
I
to
was
bring
wondering
up.
about shrines
when
too. Yeah.
when Link falls out of the sky, you don't see any shrines.
Right.
I thought I saw one at the
Interesting.
beginning.
So
Oh.
yeah. So I
Mysterious.
wonder if
Show us
number
Ganondorf.
number one, I wonder if they did
Looking.
new shrines, or if like there's like something that's replaced shrines and there's like a new thing that you do that kind of like replace that, because that was like part of like the addiction of Breath of the Wild was like finding new shrines, and like
Mhm.
doing each new one, and it was just fun to be able to like discover one. So I hope that like sense of like discovery is back with something else. If it's not shrines, something else like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's where Eric's reading my mind. It's here where Eric has it. Like I was like, I can't
Oh,
tell
shit,
if that's
I'm
a
right there.
shrine. I think it's a shrine, but there's like a halo around it, kind of. Yeah, like up in the
Wait,
mountain area.
Pause it on it.
You talking about
okay.
up
It
like
just looks
where
like
it's,
one of those
green?
towers.
That's
isn't
another
it?
thing I was gonna bring up because I don't think we know what the shiny
Yeah.
spinning
It-
green thing is. We don't know what that
Oh,
is.
Okay.
Is that a
It could be.
shrine?
It
shrine.
could
With something
be.
going on.
Yeah.
I hope it's just a Korok seed.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
okay with that.
I hate you,
Korok
Greg.
seeds.
Finally,
It's just a
here.
fucking Korok seed. So
Yeah.
I don't mean to go back to this, but as far as like the map and like making it feel like different, part of what they keep talking about is what's going to make it the difference between Breath of the Wild and this one is in terms of like the map and the layout is its verticality. But my concern was when you look up in the sky, I didn't see that many sky islands. Like I saw them, but they seemed pretty sparse. Like there wasn't a ton of them, and the ones that you see look kind of small. So I wonder. Franco made a comment that's a good point. I wonder if there's also going to be like underground verticality too.
I mean, if these came up out of the ground, there's suddenly a gaping hole in the earth.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Also known as my ex-wife.
Oh my God. I was not ready for that.
In the ground.
I was not ready for that. That's good. That's
family
show.
But I mean, like, even at that, like, look how much time was spent on that one small sky island.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
there
it's
was
cool.
it was like almost like, you know, you could easily spend, especially for me, I want to see like every point to it. Am I missing something? What did I not find here? That's like 20 minutes on one little piece of rock in the,
I mean, hopefully
in the heavens.
We didn't really get to see all of it.
Too much.
Can we call them Skylands from now on?
Yeah.
I'm
What
sure
are they?
will be called that.
They're
Skylands.
Skylands.
Then it's going to be too close to like Skylanders. And
Yeah.
like, no, I don't.
What's that?
Skyler from Breaking Bad.
Skylar.
Skylar.
I hope she's
Open the door.
Don't, man.
Jesus.
Anywho.
Right.
I'm gonna have to edit
Get
out
away
some
from
of
me,
this
John.
stuff. I gotta take out all these dark humor.
Yeah, you open the gate, Brett.
This is what happens
No,
when
you-
John hosts.
Man, you're the one that derailed it instantly. All right. Should we just sort of take this from the top with the new abilities? Start with recall.
The abilities.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
starting with recalls basically lets us rewind time, I guess. And
Mhm.
On
gonna
objects,
be-
though, right?
yeah.
On objects, yeah.
And it's gonna be at least one of the ways that we get to the Sky Islands, because they show that like basically just like a chunk of debris falls off one of the islands. Yeah, great. Eric's got it here.
Can you take your horse up with you?
Gotta
You
find
would
out.
think so. Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna find
try.
out.
if it can leap
Yeah.
up there.
Can you
Yeah, that's
attach the
fun.
fans to a horse and make it fly up in the sky?
Oh,
Dude,
This-
oh my
This is
lord.
just cause
Can
at this
you
point.
imagine?
Yeah.
Make
That'd
the
be
horse go
really
to like
cruel.
super
Hey, hold on.
sprint.
Eric is zooming in. I think
Yeah.
that
Oh, good catch.
I mean, it does look temple-y.
it looks
It
like
looks
a
like
shrine, but
shriney.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like
what I
a
meant. Yeah, I
different, a
meant
different kind of
shiny.
shrine.
Yeah.
And-
It looks
Enhanced.
different than the other design of shrines, but that definitely could be. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, those are the new shrines.
cool.
I
Yeah,
bet,
I
yeah.
hope so.
But I feel like the old shrines.
location
you
of
saw
the map
them,
is this. Hold on.
Isn't that the same one we were looking at before, though?
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think
gonna
so, yeah.
go look at Breath of the Wild whenever I find my Switch. It's somewhere in a suitcase. And I'm gonna go to this location because I think I know which stables they're at, and I'm gonna confirm.
you're gonna see if there was an old shrine there.
Mhm.
Okay,
feel like
so yeah,
with-
maybe
with
the
Breath of
shrines
the-
were replaced by whatever that is, and it's nothing.
Man.
I'm just wondering if there's going to be fewer overall. Like I think since they're obviously doing more with the open world with like the
Mhm.
sky stuff and there's more abilities now. I think it'd be
Yeah.
cool if like a larger portion of the game took place in the open world instead of in shrines. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to rehash themselves. So yeah, I would actually be surprised if there's suddenly like another 120 temple shrines or whatever. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. 'Cause
So
it seems so far the world itself is more the emphasis.
back
Yeah, no.
to like the recall thing. Do we think this is only going to be for like certain objects? Do you think we're going to be able to like rewind enemies that are coming towards you? We only saw it
That'd be
applying
cool.
to a rock.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be
There's a
cool
lot
if
we
like
don't know.
it'd be cool if like a part of the story is to like bring back old like sages or something and you have to go down in their temples and find their dead bodies and rewind them back to life.
It's a lot of
That'd be awesome.
rewinding.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is
like there's already speculation that like these abilities will be used in the story, like recall the Master Sword, fuse the Triforce, etc., which would
Ooh.
be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like who knows? But like yeah, there's a lot of potential there. So yeah, I hope you can use recall on enemies because that could be wild. That would
Yeah.
be what game is it? Well, I guess I'm kind of thinking of Braid. Does anybody remember Braid? It was like the
Yeah.
original indie hit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Xbox
I
Live.
do remember
Yeah,
that.
it was the one that Soulja Boy like made fun of, and then it made the creator sad.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about
Became
that.
a meme. Yeah, I don't know, ancient internet meme. But yeah, like Braid had this mechanic where like you could like rewind everything, and it like had gameplay repercussions, and like it'd be cool if you could do that here, like rewind an enemy to like solve a puzzle for you or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be
I guess
cool.
we'll find out.
Gosh, I just had a brain fart. Sorry, I'll remember in a
Your
second.
No biggie. But of course, I think we probably all agree that like the big one, the really exciting, crazy thing is the fuse ability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it just
Like,
became a giant
Fuse, I
toy
think, is when-
box, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
right.
That's exactly what this
Greg,
game is.
How about you tell us about Fuse, Greg?
Oh well, honestly, like being able to, take any sort of weapon or any sort of object that's laying, within your exploration is like
Yeah.
it just takes like all the shackles away. Like it makes it feel genuinely like, even though it's not technically an open world, it's existing in this like this land, you're not, it is, but it isn't, I guess.
What do you wait?
But it
What
makes
you,
it
you
feel-
say Zelda wasn't an open world?
Yeah,
I feel like
This is an extremely
it's
open world.
Yeah,
it's-
this is
I
the
don't think
most open world.
I don't think it's the biggest or like the most like
It
freedom
is
that you have. in a
very
game.
big.
It's one of
I
it's
would
one
say
of the
no.
biggest
Very big.
and one of
Yeah.
the most freeing.
But
I spent over 130 hours
Greg,
walking
But I
around.
will say, okay,
Listen,
can I fucking
hang on,
finish?
hang on, hang
Can
on,
I
hang on, hang on.
I
finish?
picked the wrong person.
Can I widowy finish? What I'm saying is, in Breath of the Wild, it felt very limited to have to traverse all these things with a stamina bar. Walk to this place. You can't explore the very tippy top of this mountain. You can't get to this island that's over here because you fall off the edge, and it's only a big puzzle in this area. Whereas like now, it feels like I can go anywhere. I can fucking attach a fan to this log and ride it into the heavens. Like it feels more open than Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah, I think
Before I
think
was
it'll-
attacked. That's what I was
think
trying to say.
it'll-
Okay.
I think it will immediately feel more open because of those abilities. But with Fuse, let me explain it. When a man and a woman really love each other,
Oh my
I'm
God.
just kidding.
One is dead.
Jeez.
One is dead.
Stop bringing it back.
I have an update.
Now you're bringing
on
it back.
on the shrine, by the way.
Yeah.
My friend the Becca, who's in our Twitch chat, opened Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
and
no.
there is a shrine. That's the stable.
Oh my
the
God.
shrine
Same
next
spot?
to.
Oh.
Yeah,
Frickin'
that's
Becca.
Dueling Peaks.
Our on-site
Mysterious.
reporter.
Mysterious.
Very interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that might just be
Okay.
like the site
Alright.
of old dead shrines then that mean nothing.
Yeah.
And we're all excited about
Or
nothing.
or it could send you to someplace else completely.
maybe.
I
Or
mean,
Or they're teleporting
if,
spots.
like-
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's going on
maybe
with them.
like if shrines are in this game, they probably, and this is just my guess, but I would imagine they don't look anything like the shrines we're used to. I would imagine
Yeah.
it's like a
It's gonna
whole
be
new
a
structure.
design,
Even if
Well-
like in principle it ends up being like similar mechanically, I just imagine that they wouldn't just recycle the same visual space, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But anyway,
I would like
the
I don't,
youths.
especially something that you went to, more than 20 times in Breath of the Wild. I hope that something that is as repetitive as going to a shrine. I hope there is, if they are reintroduced, that they're something's different about them. Like, and plus, like, man, if there's not something different, but the puzzles are just as complex, if not more, then God, how long has this game been seriously in development? Like for them to like, I'm sure they would have to consider, how those mechanics work, all together, every single item, the opportunity for, fusing two items that break the game, and then also figure out, some master plan of shrines littered throughout, Hyrule. Like, how long was this game in development, or seriously in development?
Well, at least 5-6 years. So
Yeah.
Since it was Breath of the Wild DLC, I mean, you would think it was pretty much it would like never
since then. Yeah.
They never stopped working on Breath of the Wild, basically, because that's what
I mean,
is.
It makes sense. Makes sense when something's that big and that complex, and puzzles are that complex, and that's gonna be a lot.
And like the most exciting part is just the fact that inevitably we're still only scratching the surface.
Yeah, we still
this
know
is
almost
what they've
nothing.
chosen to show us.
Right. That's what's cool about today's.
And we're thinking about all the possibilities.
Right.
Yeah. For all we know, there's 8 dungeons in the game, on top of everything else. Like, we don't know. I mean, there could also be 0 dungeons. Who knows? I mean, following from the last game, there's probably at least 5.
Yeah,
but, I guess we'll find out.
That's what has me excited is we're like really geeking out about the abilities that we saw, but like I think Brett just said, like, this is only what they've chosen to show us. So like, they're leaving stuff out on purpose. It's going to be like a surprise. They're going to be like really cool that we're going to find out once we play it. So man, like this could truly be something special.
Yeah. And it's funny how Breath of the Wild already felt like such an amazing sandbox. And it's like, wow, how do you top that?
Right.
Then you see like 10 minutes of this and you're like, oh, that's how you top that.
Like Breath of the Wild looks boring now in comparison to this.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But
I was gonna say I remembered what I started saying and then forgot. We were talking about the rewind ability and how it was used in Braid. There was another game that I played that I loved called Arise: A Simple Story, that you use the rewind ability in that to solve certain puzzles. That was really cool. Like there'd be like a mountain crumbling down, then you'd like rewind it halfway to like jump certain rocks and then let it go forward. So like, I wonder.
Like Bayo 5.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3.
Or Bayo 3. Why did I say 5?
Oh, he does that on that as well?
Occasionally, some little puzzles, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Like I wonder if it's going to implement that into like you doing like rewind in puzzles, and I'm sure it will. In some way, I'm sure you'll use that in some way other than just shooting yourself up into the sky islands.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to find out. Yeah, like with Fuse, like it's funny how they use like basically the most boring example imaginable, which is like a stick and a rock.
A stick and a rock, but it was so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as I saw that gigantic rock on the stick, I was like, no fucking way they just did that.
They literally chose the most mundane example humanly possible to maintain the element of surprise for the rest of the game, and we're still like, whoa, did you seriously do that stick and that rock? That's the Nintendo magic.
I'm surprised none of y'all have brought up the arrows yet. Y'all are geeking out there in group chat. Okay,
yeah,
I was like,
that's coming.
Like, we're not moving on from this conversation until we talk about the arrows.
No, not at all. All right, well,
the arrows, if you know what I mean.
Arrows, yeah.
The arrows are coming just like Mary. John was when they showed him. You know what I mean?
It's perfect. The arrows are perfect if you're bad at aiming like I am. You can just attach an eyeball to an arrow and it
absolutely
just
I love it.
But then
it homes
people
in.
People are pointing out you can attach like a piece of meat to an arrow. I'm like, well, what's that gonna do? It's just gonna like smack an enemy with a stake.
It's gonna feed someone.
I hated that part too in the gameplay that they showed, that he was like, you can attach a leaf to it, but didn't fire off the leaf.
Yeah, and then it didn't
what does it do?
Yeah.
What does it do?
Yeah.
What does it do though?
Cliffhanger. Like it makes more sense when he switches to the ice and turns into an ice arrow. That's fairly traditional.
Yeah,
right.
so
It's pretty common.
Are they gonna have like normal ice arrows, and that's just like another option? Like, oh, I don't have actual ice arrows, but I have the little jelly thing, blob thing, and I can just stick it on the arrow. And
like, what if you put a bomb on it and put a leaf on it and fire it in the air, and it slowly floats down to your enemy? Like, there's like so much potentials to like you don't
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and that's I think that's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
best
No,
part
yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
When they got to the homing arrows with the eyeballs, like I was
Yeah,
done.
that
I was
was
like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
brilliant. Like this is like the Nintendo magic in
Mhm.
action.
Right.
Like when
Yeah.
people talk about like that weird abstract creative quality that no other developer has,
Yep.
the eyeball arrow is it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
like the most pure example right there.
This is like
Yeah.
something I would talk about on the schoolyard. Like,
Yeah.
oh, did you see the eyeball arrow? Like,
Right.
oh my god.
This
This
is going to be
podcast
such
is
a
the
water
closest
cooler
we have
game.
to that schoolyard
It
now.
is.
So
It
here
really
we are.
is.
Yeah.
This will be one of
yeah.
those you'll just see so many videos. What's cool about the eye too is like how many of those eyes did you get in Breath of the Wild? You just
Right.
discarded or
So
like these are
many.
fucking pointless.
Hundreds.
Sold
Like
them.
I hated having them, and now it's like it's such a cool thing to have, and it's got such a
Yeah.
cool use.
Like
So it's like they're making use of literally every stupid thing that you can collect. It looks like which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because you can fuse it now.
Mhm.
right. And again, like I mean, like I'll forgive them if it's not like, oh well, like there's like 100 items, so they're gonna be like 100 completely unique effects. Like
Sure.
I don't think they're gonna
Sure.
go that far, but like I mean, just within like the realm of what they've shown us, it's just so exciting. Like,
Very.
I wonder if
impressive,
you
yeah.
can like create a vehicle and then like put a bunch of meat on it.
a meat
Just 'cause.
vehicle.
The
Why
meat
not?
wagon.
And then
There
like
you go.
throw it into a fire and watch it all cook.
Yeah, why
Dude,
not?
seriously.
Well, then I guess that takes us to the next ability then, the Ultra Hand. Does
Yeah.
Yeah.
does anybody recognize that name?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so you can like easily modify stuff after you fuse it together.
But what's
Okay.
the
No,
asking what the
I
reference
meant-
is though?
Yeah, no, that's actually a reference to Nintendo history. Very obscure Nintendo
Oh, I
history.
did
Does
not
anybody know it?
No.
Okay. The Ultra Hand, which I think was 2 words, it was like one of the first toys that like was like really popular for Nintendo in Japan. It's basically just like an extender like hand thing. Like
No way.
Oh yeah,
Is that
it
right
like
there?
the first thing they
I
created?
think Eric's kind of found. Yeah, that's it. There.
Yeah.
That.
Ah.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric.
Oh
Wasn't
my
it like
God.
their
work as
first
always.
creation?
Did you
Ever?
remember that, or did you see like an article on that today or something?
No, I
'Cause that's
knew that,
impressive if you remember that. That's
It-
pretty impressive.
sometimes it like shows up in like weird documentaries and stuff. But yeah,
That's
this was like,
awesome.
you know, Nintendo's much older than this particular toy, but this was like a big hit for them in Japan. And like
Mhm.
as you can see,
That's
it's much
cool.
more sophisticated than Nintendo Switch. This
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
absolutely.
this extending object for like picking up things that are just slightly out of reach. That was
That's
a big hit.
awesome.
So yeah, so I just loved
Mhm.
when today they called this thing the Ultra Hand. I was like, oh, that's great.
I thought
Like,
that was kind of a weird name. Now it makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a very obscure Nintendo reference, but it was very cool to see there. So if anyone listening didn't know, tell everyone that you learned it on SpotDodge podcast. We're extremely
Yeah.
knowledgeable,
Yes,
extremely
we
handy.
are.
Really no reason not to listen. But,
Right.
yeah, so this feels like a really good companion to Fuse, because you're
Mhm.
Yeah.
fusing other things basically. Like
He-
I'm not sure if this is like strictly like the vehicle creation ability, so to speak, or if it kind of is going to extend beyond that. I don't know.
That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering too, like with what stuff too.
Yeah.
Or like other things.
Yeah, with like
Yeah,
weapons, like
like, I
imagine
have
if you
no
fuse like multiple
Right,
rocks
like
and
split
like
'em
a
off or
long
something.
stick, and you had like rocks on both ends
Yeah.
or something, you know, like a
Well,
Something
think
like
about
that.
I
like
don't know.
the puzzle solving with this that could come with it. Like you have to build something or put something back together, or like you have to get this piece up here to make this then go up and do something else. Like
Yeah.
there's so many possibilities with this
I'm
mechanic.
almost scared to see the puzzles in this game based on
I'm excited. I'm very
potential.
Well, I felt like that was one of the coolest things about the shrines in Breath of the Wild, where like there would be times where I would complete a puzzle and like finish a shrine, and I'd be thinking to myself like, was that even what the developers wanted me to do in order to
Right.
complete this puzzle? Like,
Yeah.
it feels like
Mhm.
so organic sometimes, where it's just sort of like, well, I did it this way, but maybe you could have done it like this way or this way.
You're
Yeah,
right.
and
And like
that's
with
what I
the
was
new
talking about with
abilities in
like
this game, it's like, yeah,
that's what I was talking about with like fusing objects together. Like they had to probably troubleshoot every single item being fused
Oh,
with
yeah.
every single item, how it impacts, if it does, like if you can take these abilities into a shrine like to solve a puzzle, or if it's just, does it make you OP in a boss battle? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I hope it does. Like if like you have the imagination for it, you know what I mean?
Well, it's cool. So you already said something about like in Breath of the Wild, you had to search to find powerful weapons. And in this, you can use items that you just find laying around to make powerful weapons if you're around the right stuff. So like, I wonder how far that goes,
Right.
like how powerful of weapons can you make just by finding things on the ground, or like, picking up loot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like how they don't
Yeah.
care too about like any of the like asset clipping. Like you just have a giant pitchfork, and yeah, sure, it drags on the ground, and the top just flails around and probably clips through trees and shit. But they don't care.
That's
Like,
fine.
it's
Yeah.
like, build it, whatever. Do
You're
whatever you
gonna
want.
buy it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. It's this massive thing just stuck to your back, and I'm like, perfect. Don't shrink, don't
Yeah.
hide it. It's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if
Gold.
this is a PlayStation game, Brett would have his pitchforks out, but it's Nintendo, they get a pass.
Always.
And talking about what Eric just put on screen here, how it's great how even the what they're called constructs, these new enemies,
Constructs,
like it's
yeah.
cool how even the constructs have their fused items, so like they use it to like fan Link right
Yeah,
off
that
the
fan
island
thing.
and like
Yeah.
drop him 20,000 feet. That's gotta suck.
Yeet.
It was weird how I wonder how far they're gonna go with that, because he like showed it to you, but then just like didn't even bring it up. He just kind of like, oh well, I got knocked off the island. Oh well.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of
Yeah,
like
it's
really
funny.
weird about
He
it.
just
Like
keeps-
he wanted to show it to you, but like left it open. Like there's so much that could be done there.
Does he
Yeah.
not understand how inconvenient that will be when you're actually playing the game?
Right? Yeah,
Fall
that's
all
what
the
I was
way
thinking.
back down.
I was like, no, not oh well. No, I have to fucking get back to that sky island.
There'll probably be
man.
some sort of quick travel like before.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
it'll be
rewind
all
your,
right.
just use
We
recall
need a
and
Prince of
rewind
Persia.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Prince
do
of
it
Persia
yourself?
rewind.
I know.
Yeah, we'll
I
find
doubt
out.
it.
Like,
I need
I doubt it.
answers.
I wish. That'd be amazing.
man, that's so cool.
So,
Yeah.
on that boat with when they set up that penis shaped boat, and
Oh, the good old dick
one
boat.
side of the river
You just said
together,
it so casually.
the dick boat. Yeah. So they have both fans running behind him. First of all, I wanted to say, like, it looks like there's like battery life on the fans, which is interesting. I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
not
think-
infinite.
Yeah, I think that's just, like a reasonable concession, because
Yeah, that's fair.
then you would make one and you just fly it like everywhere in the game.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and
And
you'd
the other
also sorry, I'm gonna make this quick. Also,
Yeah, sure.
you'd be frustrated every time you turn the game off, because then you'd lose like your super ship that you've been flying around for like 4 hours.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But yeah,
Yeah,
what were you
the
gonna
other
say?
thing I was wondering on that too, like if you're ever going across like greater distances of water, because it just showed him going straight. So I wonder if like you
Yeah.
can hit one fan and have it like turn right to like turn the fan off and then hit it again and like straighten out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if you can hit him back and
Yeah.
forth and kind of like steer it a little bit. I wonder how far they go
True.
with that.
Yeah. That'll be fun to find out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, what happens
interesting
when you're on
stuff.
like the outskirts? Can you like go out? Like that's what also I wonder too, is
Mm.
like if you take your flying machine, up and into the sky, are you just gonna hit like, imaginary developer wall and you're gonna fall to the ground? Like what
Well,
happens
you mean
in those cases?
horizontally or vertically? Like, I mean, in which direction is this?
I mean, there's so many
hypothetical wall?
developer walls you could possibly hit in this.
I know that, yeah, I mean, you could fly up and, keep going, or, shoot out on the
Like-
horizon and see how far it goes, or in the water
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I guess it'll depend on like how many flying materials they give you while you're in Sky Islands, because the Sky Islands in some cases seem so high above Hyrule.
Yeah, like way crazy
Like-
high. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Like sometimes it almost feels like when you're trying to go back down to the surface, it's going to take a long time. Like almost be kind of inconvenient. Like Jesus, this
Okay,
is taking forever.
so Eric pointed out that it seems like verticality spends a lot more energy if you're trying to fly up. Okay, so maybe that'll limit you from like trying to go
is
to
that
the
a
Someone's
factor?
gonna
Or
figure
we're
out how
just
to break it.
assuming?
Well, that's just based off of Eric's
Yeah.
observations here.
Okay.
So, and I mean,
I
this
wanna
is
fly
like
to the
one
moon.
type of fan, you know, maybe there's more than one type of fan. Again, we're doing like incredible speculation based on like 10 minutes of gameplay. We've already
Sure.
spent 2 or 3 times more amount of time talking about it than we have like watching it.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Big fan.
heyo.
You know, I just realized we were talking about old abilities and if they're going to be in
Mm.
the game. He's constantly doing one of the old abilities by picking something up and like dropping it into the water. Like he does that over and over in this.
That's part of
That's
the
from
Ultra
Breath of the
Hand,
Wild.
though. That's
Like-
like the
like
right there.
Magnesis one, though.
Like right here where he picks this up and just drops it into the water. Like that's from Breath of the Wild, right? Where he just like moves, like you move like metal blocks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or that is Ultra Hand.
I
Never
mean,
mind.
it's
Okay,
similar
that
in
is-
understand.
principle,
I think
but
that's-
yeah, it's Ultra Hand.
Yeah, it's still Ultra
Gotcha.
Hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Weren't the
No
the
longer
combat
limited
swings
to
too?
metal.
right. What, Greg?
Sorry.
Weren't the combat swings with the branch? Wasn't that a different combo as well too?
Oh, I didn't notice. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt
maybe.
like the sequence was a little bit different.
Okay.
I used a branch that almost my entire Breath of the Wild playthrough. I kept like trying to make it stronger and stronger and stronger.
How?
I don't know. I just got, or am I thinking of Hyrule? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I know I
Hyrule
used a
Warriors.
branch. Oh yeah, it was Hyrule then.
'Cause
Yeah, I
I
just
think it
kept
would've
making it
just
stronger and
broken
stronger
right
and stronger.
away in
Nah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
But
but I hope that
Okay.
like, but no, what I was saying is I thought that the combo sequence was a little bit different. I could
maybe.
be not misremembering it.
I probably haven't actually played this game seriously since 2017, so my memory is a bit fuzzy. But sharpen my heart, whatever that means. And the last ability then is I think it's just called Ascend,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Like that
Ascend.
portal
That's
thing.
the thing. Yeah, that's the thing that we saw in like I think it was like the earliest gameplay trailer we saw it where you just shoot straight up and you can actually go through a solid surface and come out the other side. And Al Numa was saying that like this is going to be like a convenient new way to, for instance, climb mountains. So that
Mhm.
if you're annoyed about running out of stamina, if you can just find a cave instead inside the mountain, you can just shoot to the top. That's really smart.
That's cool. Yeah. That is
See,
really
Harry
cool.
Potter shit.
One of my first thoughts though was, what if you're trying to like ascend through and you think you're gonna end up at the top, and then you pop
You
up
get
inside of a
stuck.
secret
Ooh.
cave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh
And
god,
this is
there's
where
so much potential
this is where
here.
all the possibilities begin.
Oh man. You're gonna have to be like staring in all directions all the time to catch every secret.
Yeah.
He did say it was limited. I wonder what that means exactly. But I wonder like
Yeah. Right.
how high the ascend works. Like if there's like a ceiling that's like way high above you, if it can't quite reach it.
Yeah.
If like there's like a height on how
Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean you would think so, or else then you could just like zip to like any sky island you ever find, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with that. That'd be quite
That might
handy.
even be better.
but-
I wonder if you could do it too when you're falling back
Nevertheless.
to the earth or the ground. Like
No,
yeah,
if
that's a
you
good
got
thought.
underneath,
'Cause you-
Yeah,
maybe.
like-
yeah, maybe if
yeah,
you got
like him
underneath it.
falling there, like if he was able to like
like
get
that real
over, you
quick.
know, back
Yeah.
underneath it. I don't know.
yeah,
Interesting.
Mhm.
If you somehow got underneath, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Man.
Very, very interesting.
that just
Yeah.
now I just after like talking about it too, I have so many more questions. Like what
Right.
is possible? What are the limitations? What I mean, it's like, they just basically dumped out a bucket of Legos in front of us and said, you build whatever the hell you want. Well,
Yeah.
like it's like I don't know what to build. Like
Right.
help me understand these
yeah,
things.
seriously. And that's what it goes back to that we were saying earlier. It's like they just showed us what they want us to see. Like
Right.
there's I'm sure so much that we have no idea about yet, which is
Yeah.
the most exciting. Is we're
Including
like
the
we're
entire
super
story.
The entire story, which I guess matters, but
And Mary, you're the only one that knows even a little about this Zonai thing. Can you
All
talk to us
right.
about the Zonai thing?
Teach us,
Well,
teacher.
The thing about the Zonai is like they're so mysterious that we know basically nothing about them. Like it's just a word that came up, and there's like a very brief description in one of the books that's like a sentence, but it's been one of the biggest like speculation conspiracy theory things of like Zelda tubers and like the Zelda community. They're like theorized is probably a better word, to be like, were they a savage tribe, were they these super strong like magic wielders, were they like lore keepers who were trying to record like the history of like the royal family, but then like dark secrets, came out, and like the royal family like, was like, no, we can't have that. I've even seen like, we don't know how old this ancient race is, and we kind of I think they've finally kind of agreed-ish on the, like Breath of the Wild is like where the split timeline reconnects. So like I've even seen theories of the Zonai being connected to the interlopers, which is where the Twilight Realm people came from. So like, what brings me back to, I haven't given up yet on the Twilight Realm still being a possibility, but the fact
Professor,
that
can you repeat that last one?
but the fact that we saw Zonai charge and like like the words show up, it's just sent the fandom like spiraling. Like people are losing their minds over, and they said the magic word.
Where does it say Zonai
we should
charge?
clarify.
I missed that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should clarify. That was a drop from defeating the first what's it called, right? The constructs.
Let me see. Yeah, Zonai charge. It's like an item.
Yeah. I think it was dropped from destroying one of the constructs.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like just in text. Okay. So it's like okay.
So yeah, Link picks up a Zonai charge and a soldier construct horn. So
soldier.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Yep, there it is.
Zonai charge. Interesting.
But it's pretty
amazing the things people catch when they watch things like this.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have
Well,
never
no,
noticed
that
like-
means absolutely nothing to me. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god,
That's
it's a
true.
made-up word.
Well, and of course, like earlier when we were talking about the shrines, and like I was scanning through because I was like, I think that is a shrine. I think that like use, but then I started to see other details, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop because now I'm looking at like structures and buildings and trying to figure out like where they are in the game. And I was like, I haven't done my frame by frame analysis yet, basically. So, but yeah, it's
Okay.
Are they all like? Are they related at all to like the cores like from Breath of the Wild?
Like the Guardian
Like
cores, or
weren't they like giant? You get the giant cores and
I don't think
the Guardian cores.
No, I'm looking.
Don't they look similar? Because in my head they look similar.
Yeah, because I'm looking. Where did it go?
See, it's fuzzy
like,
for me, so I can't tell.
Oh yeah,
like there's things about like the Zonai being forced underground, eventually eliminated by the Sheikah as ordered by the royal family. I'm looking at all this on ZeldaUniverse.net, by the way. So shout out to Zelda Universe. Like I said, like it's been such shrouded in mystery that like we just don't know. But the Guardian cores, I thought was like Sheikah technology. So like, yeah, like what if the two are related? What if it's
stolen technology?
Yeah, what if like the Zonai were like forced underground or forced, into extinction basically. And because they were like doing something they shouldn't have been doing, we don't know. But then the Sheikah tribe still kept on to like some of that technology. And now look where we ended up. Ganon took over the Guardians, turned them against all of Hyrule. So
okay. But
enter the multiverse. The multiverse.
But you think that there's a possibility that this timeline has reconverged the three like splinters.
I think that's what I can't remember if Nintendo ever officially said that. I feel like they did. Don't quote me though.
Really?
But this is like so far after every other game in the timeline that like, yeah, and like you see locations in Breath of the Wild that like are in Ocarina of Time. You see a lot of things from a lot of different games, and that's why people are like, this is like where the timeline becomes one again, sort of thing.
Okay. All right, I could see that. I was also just kind of imagining it as like Nintendo being like, well, we gave up. We don't really care about this continuity stuff. We're just throwing in whatever sounds.
Also, that's been a thing ever since they finally, like, fans complained for years about needing an official timeline. Nintendo finally said, okay, here is the official timeline. The fans went, well, that's not my timeline. That's not how I want it to be. This timeline bullshit.
Yeah.
You just throw it together. You don't even care about me. So
that sounds like a Capcom not caring about voice actors kind of deal. Am I right, Brett?
But
Nintendo's like, no, we care. Look, the stick. Look at the rock.
I missed it. What'd you say?
Like, we care.
She was talking about how there's like a timeline of events that Zelda hardcore fans had in
Zelda's
their minds.
continuity, it's so bad that I just accept anything. Like, it is completely messed up, doesn't make any sense. They just make it up as they go. They create the game, and then after they're done, they're like, okay, guys,
like,
how
I
can
guess
we
that
connect
kind of
this
fits.
Yeah. When they first announced the timeline, I thought it was like weird and funny that they were like, oh yeah, in one of the timelines, like Link just like died. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, we kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, like the hero's slain or the hero.
Yeah, like Link just loses an Ocarina of Time. Like they don't explain how or why that would happen. It just happened. He just lost. And then I guess like they flood the whole planet to contrive Wind Waker, and it's like, okay.
Yep.
But yeah,
I feel like they did that Zonai thing just to fuck with people. It means nothing. They're just like, we're just gonna fuck with people.
Well, yeah, what if they never mention it outside of that?
We're maybe gonna find out.
There was just like one random junior staffer who was like, hey, you know what would be funny?
Oh my gosh.
There's these hardcores online.
Yeah. One of them's name is Mary, and she's gonna lose her shit.
Well, we've spent about an hour talking about 10 minutes of gameplay, so I think it's kind of reasonable to say that like this is maybe the most successful 10 minutes of gameplay a company has ever casually rolled out for promotional purposes.
Yeah.
This is like
they do this all the time. All Nintendo has to do is put out a little piece of like something to do with Zelda, and people lose their fucking minds every time.
Right.
Like they put out like an image last year, and people were like, "Oh my god, look, his hair is long. Oh my god, he has a tattoo." Fucking just analyze that to death for like a month.
And the fact that this wasn't even like called like a Nintendo Direct or a mini Direct or a Spotlight or anything. No, they just said like, Aonuma is going to talk for 10 minutes. Like, that's it. There's no magic
out of
special
nowhere
branding
right?
or anything. Yeah, it was announced yesterday morning. Yeah.
Such a Nintendo thing to do.
And like, this is arguably the biggest piece of Tears of the Kingdom marketing that we've ever seen. It was announced on a Monday, dropped on a Tuesday, 10 minutes long.
Yeah, I did like what Kit tweeted out about like
I was going to bring that up. Good job, Greg.
Go ahead.
No, by all means, go for it.
No, he just said, I'm sure you have the quote down verbatim, but he said something along the lines of
no,
it's
he
his
didn't say
birthday
that
today, you know. It is actually.
that the gameplay that they promised, the 10 minutes of gameplay was, some sort of concession between the development team and the marketing team to push to get this out and talk more about the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, marketing team like has to want like a full-blown direct, and I guess the game designers are like, we want this to be a fun secret, which I mean, to be fair, noble goal, But
But
I
we
mean,
believe this is coming
I
out
thought it was
in
the
like a
right
matter of
sliver.
weeks.
Hasn't it already outsold Breath of the Wild in pre-orders though? Didn't we? Was that last week that we mentioned
Did
that,
it?
or
Oh, I don't know.
Wouldn't be
I didn't hear
surprised
that,
at
but
all.
I mean, yeah, I mean, well, like,
It would make
yeah.
sense because back then
Like,
there
I-
was like no one owned a Switch really, like compared to
Right.
the amount of people that do now. Like it's
yeah,
gotta
like-
outsell.
the Switch attach rate, I mean, the Breath of the Wild attach rate was literally higher than 1.0. There was more
Right,
people that
that's-
bought Breath of the Wild than owned a Switch.
That's insane.
yeah.
That is crazy.
So
Whereas with like the like PlayStation, like their greatest game of all time, like 10% of owners play.
yes.
It's like
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. You compare it to something like Mario Kart 8, the attach rate is like astronomical and incomprehensible.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, so it makes sense to me with how many Switches are out there that this would be outselling
Yeah,
in
I bet it's
pre-orders.
Oh yeah,
insane.
totally.
It looks awesome. So, all right. Looks like we're finally ready to move on to Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. The OLED.
I can't believe it. It is like that rumored picture that Mary was
What
like,
a
"There's
beautiful
no way."
design. What a great design.
Shut
That
up,
front
I
is
hate it.
The left joystick or Joy-Con looks like a fucking circuit board. I'm telling you,
It's
it bugs me. It
so
drives me nuts.
ugly.
It's like a
It
circuit
is
board.
so
Oh,
ugly.
look
Right
at
one
It's
looks
great.
fine.
Look at how beautiful it
I-
is. The curves, the color.
I think it looks
kickstand.
nice.
I think
Well,
I think
okay.
the enclosure and the
Mary's
back of
just
it looks
fuming.
cool. I don't like the Joy-Cons. I like the rest though.
All right. I think the dock looks kind of
Yeah, the
nice.
dock
It's
Like,
looks cool.
generic. It's
Okay.
stupid.
okay,
Sorry.
Mary says it's garbage, so we're moving on. But what about
No,
the Pro
that-
controller, though? Do you like the
Yeah,
Pro
what a put down.
controller?
If you told somebody they were generic and stupid, I'd be like, bitch.
The Pro
Where's-
controller's not
where's
my
the Pro
favorite
controller?
either.
All
Have
right.
we seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Eric,
was
can you
all,
put
it
it
was
up?
all revealed together. There's even a carrying case. Do you
I
hate the
missed the
carrying
Pro
case as
controller.
well, Mary?
Let me see what the carrying case I didn't really pay attention to because like I have a case
Okay.
that like I use
Yeah.
frequently. So it's like I wouldn't buy
Yeah.
it anyway. The Pro
Right.
controller, I'm like, I might buy it to have
Visible
an extra
disgust.
Pro controller. Thank you, Eric.
There we
But Switch, I hate it. I hate
Wow.
it so
Hey, Eric, can you
much.
put the Pro controller
Wow.
up again?
It's like a little after. Yeah, it's a little. It's basically at the end. I want to say, like, yeah, like maybe the very end.
I missed that somehow when it was up.
I mean, it's pretty easy to miss.
Anyways,
To be fair,
I'll look
but-
it up after.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. Imagine something that looks good but actually boring and stupid.
There it is.
Eh,
That's kind of
There it
cool.
is. Yeah.
Are
Look,
both
like,
sides are both handles on white? The other one looks like black.
No, but
Right.
someone,
No, and I like that asymmetrical thing.
Yeah, when someone pointed out, it's like how Link's arm is
Right.
different in the
Oh, it
game. And I
is
was like,
white and
black.
okay, when you
Oh,
point that out.
That's kind of cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
I
That's
don't
dope.
hate it
I
as
like
much.
the Pro controller.
I wish the Triforce wasn't there. That's what's bugging me the most is that like that's just
Really?
a very generic Zelda like Triforce
Yeah.
Hylian crest design. Like it's not tied to any specific game. It's literally on the Arts and Artifacts book, and it's just Zelda. So to me, to put this on Tears of the Kingdom stuff, I'm like, okay, give me like actual Tears of the Kingdom themed stuff, not
Okay.
here's our boring thing that we put on a book cover.
I'm not gonna lie, I like that
Ouch.
though. I like that how they're black and white, like offset.
Yeah.
That's really cool looking.
Yeah, I like these.
I'm with Mary on the symbol though too. Like I feel like they just had negative space there, and they were like, Triforce symbol, put it there. Like they could have incorporated the green on the Pro controller versus the
Yeah,
the
like why didn't they
Joy-Cons.
use
That one looks
like the teal green color? I mean, we know
Yeah.
black and gold are Zelda colors, but I'm like, but this teal is really nice, and that screams Tears of the Kingdom to me more. Maybe I would hate it
Yeah.
less if they did more of that color scheme with it.
yeah, they should have
They
put the
changed
green
it to
like around
blue
as
for
like
Breath of the Wild, champion blue, and then the fan base hated it because it wasn't green.
The fans suck.
No
is what
one's
I'm
ever
hearing
happy.
here, Mary.
Yeah, no one's ever happy.
I didn't mind the champion blue tunic for one, but
Okay.
people were very upset at Link wearing blue instead of green.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. It's been so long now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What color is he wearing in this one? I didn't even think about it. Is he green again?
Let me pull up. Yeah, it's more of a green color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's-
green.
It looks more traditional
Yeah.
Link. It's like a tan white kind of tunic looking
Yeah,
thing, and then
yeah.
it's a green like over the
that'd be-
shoulder.
Right.
It'd be cool if you could do like the Red Dead Redemption 2 thing where you could like take him to a barber and do like your own hairstyle and give him like facial hair and
Give him
stuff.
cornrows. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
do
gonna
whatever.
spend
Just,
so much
just
time
get crazy with it.
if you do that. You let me do that.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
just
God,
want Link
yeah.
to have like long ass feral hair. Just let it fucking blow.
I mean, this hair's pretty long.
Yeah, like he looks kind of like that.
It looks
Why
kind of
does-
mangy. I'm not gonna lie.
Why does he have long hair? Why doesn't he have his little ponytail anymore? Is there a
Because
See,
story
exactly,
behind
there's-
that?
He's actually the reincarnation Ganon now. Yeah, you're playing as Ganon.
Gosh.
Reminds me of a
But-
game that I heard about called Boss Saga, where in Boss Saga,
Yeah,
Wow.
you can play as the enemy.
Tell me more.
I hear that's
yeah,
gonna be out in about 2035, 2036.
2055. Yes.
Ooh, okay. So I'm a little
2050.
early then.
Yeah, but that's a hard and fast release date. Book it. But, now that we've talked about the Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller, natural segue into the $165 Kit and Krista
Oh my
Pro
God.
controller. Let's talk about that. No, we're not.
I
You
did
just
see
did.
it.
talking
I
about
saw
that.
it in person.
Wait,
It
it's
does exist.
have we
Yeah,
seen
that's
it
right,
yet?
Mary
They've
saw it.
shown it.
Yeah, they,
It's a very nice
Is
controller.
it beautiful or what?
It's
it
very
actually
nice.
feels really
Yeah.
nice too. Like
Oh,
the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the
Oh, you-
booth.
Kit and Krista.
No,
you
Kate,
held
Oh,
it,
Captain
Mary?
Alex.
Captain Alex. Yeah, like he actually
You
had
handled it?
one at PAX East. And it was on this
okay.
really cute little display, and it was like
Oh, that's
spinning
sweet.
and
Oh, that's pretty
everything. Like
dope.
he had it like very nice and pretty. But the manufacturer he uses for like the Pro controllers stuff, it has this really nice
Ooh.
smooth matte coating. And I was like, this actually feels really good. Like I liked it.
Okay.
I gotta say,
There you go.
John,
There-
I gotta say,
So-
John, you're a fake fan if you don't get one. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out
It's
there.
a
I'm
little-
good.
It's a little pricey,
Yeah.
but it's affordable compared to like other ones I've seen, and it's better
Is this it?
quality.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like very
Yeah.
like Miami, like 90s, 80s Miami look.
Yeah. It's a nice aesthetic that kind of matches the logo of their
Yeah.
show and whatnot.
And then on the
So
on the back of
so
it, it
what
has
about that
their
is
little-
$165? Why is that $165?
Oh, it
it
has
always-
their faces on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
always
know-
cost
I know
extra
those-
for the shells.
I know those
Yeah.
sites you get them done at are crazy expensive. So I'm sure you have to they have to pay for the design to get done on them and then have to make
Yeah.
a profit
see,
off of them.
like,
So
The
right.
shell, the part of the shell that has like their faces and their logo, like that's nice and shiny, but like the white part is like that nice, like smooth.
Oh, okay.
And then like I think on the front, like it has like the white like buttons and control sticks too. So
Okay. Well,
it's pretty nice.
cool. I didn't actually mean for us to talk about any of that, but I guess we did.
no,
so
it's all right. I mean, it's
There's
all
our
good.
free-
You,
Here's our free
you lie
plug.
like a rug, John.
It's-
You wanted to. You
I've
wanted
been
it.
thinking about it ever since it got
is-
announced.
It's
it up.
not an
Bring it up.
episode of
No, bring it
Spot
up.
Dodge. It's not an episode of Spot Dodge unless we talk about them at least twice. So that was number 2. So we can move on now.
All right. So yes, moving on, and there's not really a whole lot to talk about here, but I guess we'll just give a quick eulogy. The Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS eShops, they are finally dead. They're done. You can re-download games that you already own for like another like week or week and a half or whatever, but like that's it. These things are dead.
I thought
How do we
I
feel
thought you
about
could
this
always-
big
Unalived.
loss?
I thought you could indefinitely download the stuff you own.
That's what I thought, but then I think they put out a notice today where like I think something happened where it was already they cut off the functionality, but then they like put out a notice being like, "Our bad, it's up till like the 8th or something like that."
What the hell? Are you serious?
Like,
Jesus Christ, man, what a
Yeah,
mess.
so
like,
wait,
I mean-
they're gonna take away all your purchases if you can't download them.
Yeah, kinda. So
That's crazy.
I'm doing a bunch of scrolling now, like trying to find where that was announced, but okay. Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry, I might have misspoke. Redeeming download codes, I guess you have until April 4th.
Oh.
Okay. So I think you're okay
Oh,
to
okay.
keep re-downloading your games for now. I hope. But
Yeah.
redeeming
For how
download
long?
codes, yeah, I don't know. Redeeming download codes you have until the 4th.
Because eventually they're gonna like that's not even gonna be possible at all. So like at some point
Eventually,
you have
but-
to decide what you want on your console, and that's all you'll ever have on it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't see
because I was
why they
gonna say
wouldn't
like
be able to
if
keep
you're
that up forever.
like if your console takes a
Mhm.
dump and you have to get another one, it's like
Oh,
you
I mean,
can't.
Yeah.
You
You
just
already
don't.
couldn't
Nintendo
do that.
Network.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
buy physical or you get nothing, and you like
Right.
it.
If your
Don't say
console
that.
broke, like if your Wii U or 3DS broke, you had to call Nintendo and give them like the serial number, and then you had to answer a bunch of questions about the games you bought, when you bought them. Then they would link your account to your new hardware, and that's how you would start like downloading all of your old stuff that you bought.
Why did they make
That's
things so
how-
difficult?
Yeah,
'Cause they're
It's like adding a
Nintendo.
friend. You have to have like a code that you to give someone.
I
like
mean
a
that's
code.
still
like,
the
just-
same.
I
Mhm.
know, but why? It's so dumb. Like, why can't
Honestly,
you just
I
look up
used to
someone's
think-
gamer tag like on Xbox or PlayStation or Steam or any other place? Why do you
Dude,
have to
but
like
honestly-
create an invite code?
I used to think the numbers were stupid, but over time, you start getting like all these people's terrible Xbox Live names, and it's like I'd rather just have a number than type out this shit. Like this is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
You
spam
don't want- you don't-
spam
you don't wanna
messages in
type-
Xbox Live.
You don't want to have to keep looking up fapping boner 4500.
Exactly. Loves to splooge 88.
I don't remember
Boner
what we're
Jam
talking about anymore.
5000.
So yeah, these things are dead. I hope everybody got what they wanted because you're out of luck now.
Dude, honestly, like one of these nights recently, I went through and I was like, "Is there anything that like I'm really gonna want to play, or that like it's not available anywhere else?" And the only game, literally, that I kept coming back to was Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I figured down the line, I'm gonna get a PC one day, and I'll just download it because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to play it.
How are you ever
Isn't
going
that
to play it
John's
when you're going
least
to be too busy
favorite
doing
of
your
the-
taxes?
I mean, I have
What?
to do my taxes first, and then I'll play it.
Thank God.
That's a must if you're a PC gamer.
Fuck you.
Well then, okay. Yeah, no, I just didn't even have any space to download anything on my 3DS from when I reviewed Etrian Odyssey Nexus for Nintendo enthusiasts years ago. That like took up any space I had left for games I'd want to play. So,
I was
Oh, well.
surprised. I re-downloaded I think like 12 or 13 games on my 3DS, and then I think I did like 7 or 8 on the Wii U.
Damn, money
man,
bags.
cool.
No, re-downloading and then I only bought like $50 worth. But man, I will say that like putting that to rest and like knowing that the store was going to close and then going in the next day and not being able to log into any of it and like view the eShop
Sad.
stuff. Yeah, it was really sad. It was like because I remember that era so vividly. I was so excited for my 3DS, and like even was a Street Pass was like such like a dope thing, I thought. And I remember still going to E3 and then coming out of there and it's like having all these alerts and notifications and all these me characters coming through and high-fiving me and getting puzzle pieces and shit, and it's just like, wow, that seems so long ago now.
Yeah. Yeah. It does seem like so long ago.
Mhm.
That's correct. Yeah, my Wii U, it's been so long since I turned it on. Like, I don't even know if I'm one of those people that was affected by the bricking. Like, I'm just sort of hoping the thing works.
Turn
Maybe
it
I'll find
on.
out in
Or
like a
the
decade.
Yeah, turn
sticky
it on,
sticks.
find out.
Yeah.
My Wii U
Schrodinger's
has been.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, through the years, it's never stopped being used. As surprising as that sounds, because it went from me to my nephew. I actually gave it to him. It was at my sister's house for like 3 years, my same Wii U. And then he ended up getting a Switch. And I was like, hey, can I just have the Wii U back? And then by that time, my son was older and he cared more about console gaming. So he's been playing it ever since, for like the past 5 years now.
That's cool. Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, first of all, as I've said in the past, like, I didn't buy the Wii U at launch. One of the rare times that I didn't try to play a Nintendo thing as soon as possible. But when I finally got it, I actually loved the thing. And I never really loved the Wii, which I did get at launch. Like, the Wii U is criminally underrated. But for some reason, one of the things that when I think about Wii U that I recall most fondly is I remember years ago, I think it was like I'd like just woken up. Like I think I woke up early for some reason. Like I didn't have any place to be. I just sort of woke up early. And all of a sudden I got this inspiration. I took out the Wii U gamepad and I watched the first episode of Daredevil on Netflix on the Wii U gamepad.
Nice.
And that's just one of my fondest memories of the Wii U. Watching Daredevil on the Wii U gamepad. In like whatever 480p it had or whatever
It
that
literally
resolution
is.
was.
I think it
Groundbreaking
is
shit
480.
back then.
Dude, but
Yeah.
what's weird about the Wii U gamepad is that I believe it is 480p, but it actually looks really good somehow. I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's
I
just
didn't have any
because it's
problems
so
with it.
small.
Maybe. I just always thought it looked nice and sleek, like when I would play like Wind Waker on it, like on the gamepad instead of the TV.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it a lot of the stuff that went away too. Like I loved, what's like when you used to log in and you see all the like character drawings that the sketches people made. Like
yeah,
it was just
cool.
I felt like there was so much potential there, and it was such a unique system. And then like the video calling, it's just like the first person I called on it or had a video call was fucking Sean. RGT85. I don't know why we even call. He's like, call me right now. I was like, I'm gonna call you right now. And then I never even used that feature ever again.
What's funny is on my Switch, my only friend that says like, you know how friends will say like how you became friends? Sean's the only one that says became friends on Wii U. I'm just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice. Memories. So, yep, that's dead now. You missed your chance.
Yeah.
To be part of history.
Wait, hang on, guys, for real. Just a brief moment of silence starting right now. Okay, thank you.
There you
well
go.
Worth it.
Powerful.
I hope everyone took in that moment and got emotional.
I did.
Teared up a little bit. I could feel my heart breaking.
I was gonna let you know, Brett, when I look your name up on that, it says fuck you, you and Brett are not friends.
Wow.
That's my memory. Yeah.
I hope you got really emotional. I did. I got fucking angry.
Yeah, it makes me mad. It just tells me fuck you every time.
My big excitement with the Wii U eShop closing is that now my Xenoblade Chronicles X will go up in value. It's already
give it to me.
It's already like doubled or tripled or something. So like there we
go.
You
have it?
Have you guys have you seen Mario Golf? The what is it? Toadstool Tour on 3DS is like $90 now.
Nice.
Crazy.
For no reason.
Who would have thought? Dude, like who would have thought random games?
Yeah.
All these damn things that I had in my life that I just ended up trading in. I'm so pissed at myself. I lost all my Pokemon cards. Come on.
Tragic.
Isn't that there was like you remember like on the old Atari ET, there's like known as like the worst game of all time. But like if you happen to have a copy of that, it's worth like astronomical, like it's stupid. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's worth like a stupid amount.
I thought the problem was that they produced way too many of that game,
and so they ended up like burying a whole bunch of them in like they had like a graveyard of like ET copies.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you have one, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was worth a lot.
They did.
But the reason I bring it up is that at one point I did own that game.
I remember I watched a
Checking
documentary. They were trying to solve it, whether that was true or not, and then they ended up. They did find some in a waste site.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. See,
like,
Mario Golf World Tour 3DS, $78 new. Why? 109 it sold.
I honestly thought that ET was the worst game, but then I played Horizon Forbidden West, and I was like, God damn!
Wow.
I should have foreseen that one. I should have saw that.
That's for earlier because I couldn't respond. I could only listen.
I can't remember what I said earlier, but it was. I know I took a shot at you.
Well,
yeah, I don't remember.
eBay looks like you can still get a postcard of ET on Atari for like not very expensive.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe it's like sealed copies because that people can ask a lot more for that.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. Next up, this is pretty exciting to me at least. Skies of Arcadia may be getting a remaster after 20 years. This was a cult classic RPG from Dreamcast that then got a port to the GameCube.
GameCube Renaissance. Here we go again.
So it came to North America on GameCube in 2003. So it has literally been 2 decades since Sega has done anything with this game. But Xbox Era, their podcast, one of the dudes on that show said that Skies of Arcadia remaster exists, and he knows it exists because he's seen screenshots of it.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
So was it? So it was decent then. I mean, I imagine you wouldn't be excited about it if you didn't have like good fond memories of it.
So it's the most acclaimed RPG that I've never played.
You want to borrow my copy?
I'll take your copy. So you actually played it, Greg?
Yeah, I know. Like I remember back in the day when you could rent games. I rented it and then was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, this flying ship, this fucking battle and stuff. And then like it gets very fuzzy. Then I went back and played a little bit of it again. Save file was wiped. So I started over on my old VMU and then just never went back to it.
For some reason, what I'm seeing really has like Dark Cloud vibes a little bit to me. I don't know why.
Visuals. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's so it's like obviously it has like air pirates and stuff, and like that was actually the reason why I never played it when I was younger. Like I don't like pirate stuff. I think pirates are lame and boring, so I just kind of always ignored the game.
I actually kind of feel the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not into pirate stuff.
Yeah. So, but apparently this game has like a terrific story, and it's just like a ton of fun to play in general. So like retroactively, I really felt like I missed out, and I wish I got it when I had that chance. And for years, I was like, I can't believe Sega doesn't just like re-release this thing on something. And now it sounds like they finally are. So awesome. Yeah. So I guess we'll just stay tuned there. And next up, E3 might be dead again for like the 4th or 5th time. So
no one cares at this point.
I forgot when I read that. I forgot that there was even going to be an E3 this year. Like I kind of, for some reason in my head, I was thinking that it wasn't happening. And then I read that I was like, oh shit, there was supposed to be some semblance of an E3.
Yeah. It's supposed to be Reed Pop, the New York Comic-Con and PAX people. And they can't get anybody to show up to the thing. You need to have people there to do a show. But I think it was just yesterday that VGC broke that Ubisoft pulled out. Today, IGN was saying that Sega and Tencent are now pulling out, and it seems to be this domino effect of a bunch of developers and publishers were kind of playing chicken, like who's going to back out first, and like now, here we are. So
we're going to miss out on Ubisoft's games that are never going to come out in their NFT shit.
Yeah,
like big whoop.
Tragic, man. Oh no, don't worry. They're still doing an Ubisoft Forward event, so we're still gonna see.
Yeah, we'll still get an event. Don't you worry your pretty little head.
Whether you like it or not, it's coming, baby.
They're gonna keep on dangling that Splinter Cell and never release it.
Yeah.
Man, one year they had, the creators of South Park and what's her name? Aisha Tyler was headlining the event or
Yeah.
hosting the event. And then now we have a Ubisoft forward digital presentation of some shit games. How the mighty have fallen.
I mean, their
with John
Assassin's
Bernthal, that
Creeds
was
look
pretty cool.
okay. The Japanese Assassin's Creed, they announced like 4 of them or something.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I'm definitely excited about every Assassin's Creed project. I'm really interested to see that one that's coming out that's like the traditional Assassin's Creed. Which one is that called? Brett would know, I think.
Coming out this year, it's called Assassin's
yeah.
Creed. I can't remember.
Assassin's Creed, the one that has to keep the company afloat.
Right.
It was technically going to be DLC for the new one, but then they decided to turn it into its own game and like stripping out all the RPG stuff.
Okay, Mirage. It's called Mirage.
Mirage. That's right. Yeah. So even though I'm a fan of the newer formula Assassin's Creed, it'll be cool to go back and like revisit the original formula, and then they're gonna do supposedly the feudal Japan one, which is I'm like out of my mind excited for that one. So there's some stuff in the works of theirs that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean,
I forget that there's a new Assassin's Creed coming out this year because they haven't really talked about it in forever.
I was like, is that this year?
I mean,
it's probably gonna get delayed.
That one is.
Yeah, they usually they skip a year and then they do 2 games like in a row each year, and then they skip a year and then they do 2 in a row. That's sort of been their thing.
Well, I mean, Ubisoft, like their CEO, he's a busy man. He's really busy trying to sell the company and get rid of it.
He's busy trying to run the company into the ground.
Busy man.
They've got so many good
Xbox?
properties like Splinter Cell. They have the Ghost Recon stuff, the Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, like at least 2 or 3 more. I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Like get some good management to really take this over and steer it back on course, because there's some great stuff that they own that either sell off or like have someone else come in and take over, because it's frustrating. I'm a big fan of Ubisoft stuff, and it's frustrating.
I just don't understand how they can make so many missteps though at this point. Like how can you fuck up things that bad?
Yeah,
they keep announcing games and then never talking about them. They announced Splinter Cell, they announced Beyond Good and Evil, they announced that pirate game we always make fun of. Where the hell are the games? Where's
like,
Prince of Persia? Like they never
the Prince of Persia. That's another there's so many good properties that they have that they're just sitting on. Or like just continuing to like push out and like and then that Beyond, you just said it, Beyond Good and Evil 2. At this point, I don't think that's ever happening, unfortunately.
Dude,
but I genuinely don't think so.
I honestly am so surprised they abandoned Prince of Persia, but like that had like a freaking movie, like it was huge. Yeah, and they just left it in the dust forever. Yeah, it's wild. And Splinter Cell, like once they found success with online games, they stopped caring about all that single player stuff.
Yeah, and they went all in on that dumbass. What's the game? The pirate. What the hell is it? It's so
Black
dumb.
Not Black Flag. Yeah, Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. They have like that's the only Ubisoft game we even know that is like in constant development right now is Skull and Bones. And it just keeps getting pushed out further and further. And it just honestly is like the butt of so many jokes. Like, why? Just release it how it is now and fucking move on. God,
have that team work on something else that people care about.
You can't tell me they didn't make a shit ton of money off of games like The Division 2 that were like, had people spending just copious amounts of cash. Yeah, and it's like
Rainbow Six.
Where did all this money go? Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow Six. And see, that's the thing is like Rainbow Six is their Siege game is still in the esports sphere. It's still a competitive game that's played consistently, and it's like what are you doing with the rest of your IPs? And to me it sounds like maybe he is doing a good job trying to sell the company by saying like, hey, this is our roster of games that we have in the works. If you buy us, you can have all this unfinished shit.
And speaking of which, I just now remembered Massive Entertainment at Ubisoft, they're making an Avatar game and a Star Wars game.
That's right.
These are
Oh
two
my
huge
God,
games.
The Avatar
Like-
game. That's also coming out this year. It's supposed to.
So
Maybe.
dumb.
I mean,
I just don't
Yeah.
understand why it's first person. Like I would love an
Yeah,
Avatar
that's
game, but
that's
not in first
disappointing,
person.
I would not like an Avatar game at all.
Mary,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
with
what?
Mary on that one. What
The
a
films are
stupid. Why
fine.
would you?
The world is better
Garbage.
than the film.
It's almost like a case of they tried to do too many things at once, and like just the talent they had was spread too thin or something, and like so many projects just ended up like fizzling out. You know what I mean? Like, because there's like all these things you hear about, and then like all of a sudden you just stopped hearing about them, and there's no updates on games like Avatar, like that. Like we said, that was supposed to.
Oh, I
come
thought you were
out,
talking about
late last
Microsoft.
year.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
about to
that
say
was-
it's called the Xbox Initiative. Even I'm gonna make fun of that because that's freaking like they're just as bad. Like they announce games like literally 6 years in advance. Where the hell are they? God damn.
I'm gonna point out how sad it is that this topic began with talking about how E3 might be dead, but instead we just turned it into like hitting Ubisoft as hard as we possibly could instead.
Yeah.
I'm the
Like,
only Ubisoft apologist, and even I'm fucking bashing on them.
Like
Just
we're on,
Game jumping and beating them.
yeah, like we're supposed to be on E3 suicide watch, but instead we're just beating the corpse of Ubisoft.
They freaking suck, man. The day I realized Ubisoft sucks is whenever I played Blacklist, because you sort of forget how good these companies' games used to be until you go back and play like a normal game that they made. I was like, holy shit, this is an amazing game made by the people who do those terrible new Assassin's Creed games. Like,
I don't know, man.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I know you don't agree, but to me, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla are god tier to me. Like, I love those games so much, especially Odyssey. Odyssey was
yes.
Odyssey was
great.
fucking amazing.
Okay, I'll admit that's the
Valhalla
only one I didn't play. I beat Origins. I played probably 25 hours of Valhalla, and I skipped Odyssey entirely.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, there's some Far Cries I like quite a bit too. Like, I really enjoyed 4 and 5. And 6 was okay. It was good. It was good. And I actually like Primal. So really, I'm a big fan of the Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. Like,
You're the
they
problem.
do good stuff. I am
You're
the problem. I am. You know what? And I'm okay with that.
It could not strike gold again after 3. That's their problem.
Far Cry 3. It seems like they've been trying to mimic that
after
since
Nacho Varga was in it.
It's like everything's been just the copy and pasta of 3, and then it just bled over into Assassin's Creed, or did Assassin's Creed bleed over to Far Cry? And it's just like it turned me into like a non Ubisoft fan. Like, I don't care for any of their games anymore.
My favorite thing to do with Far Cry games is play the very beginning where they feel like a normal video game and they're like linear and story driven before they drop you into this open world that's super boring. It's always like super enticing and cool. Like at the beginning of Far Cry 4. Was that the cult one, Brett? Or was that 5?
That was 5. The 5 was the cult one.
5.
Yeah, that was like really good. The acting was awesome and it was dope. So, and then same with 6. They got Gus Fring. Like, come on. And then once they start you in the open world with their boring rinse and repeat formula, I was just out. Like, it's boring.
Yeah.
They're
absolutely guilty of that traditional like game, that loop of open world that's like that just has become repetitive and boring and the same shit and 1,000 different markers on a map. They're definitely guilty of that. But for me, I am a sucker for just like going to like a camp and clearing out a camp and being all stealthy and getting through, especially in Assassin's Creed. So while I understand why they have become a problem, to me it's almost that's almost like part of the addiction for me and part of the hook. I just go into all these different camps and finding out different ways to take out, to go through and take out the different leaders within the camp and stuff like that. But anyways, John, I cut you off, so I'm sorry.
All I was gonna say was that the furthest I ever played was Far Cry 1 back in 2004 on PC. So that's my experience with the franchise.
That's the only one you played?
Yeah.
I think that's the only one I haven't played as far as
it was very technically impressive back in 2004. Probably doesn't look quite as good now, but oh well.
Interesting.
I think I'm probably gonna skip this last topic so that we can just get to Resident Evil, if that's okay with Greg, because I kind of only put it in here for Greg.
What was it?
The last Ronin video game, the Teenage
that's
Mutant Ninja
pretty
Turtles.
Cool.
Yeah, all right, we can talk about it real quick. So, somebody talking to Polygon, it's like involved with the Power Rangers IP, announced that they're going to do a AAA video game that's probably going to be an action RPG based on the last Ronin, which was a comic book set in like this alternate dark gritty future where all the turtles died except for one, and you're playing as the one remaining turtle who fights using the weapons of all the turtles, and he's bringing justice to yada yada yada. And they're gonna make that.
That sounds awesome. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty fun.
I'm picturing like a Arkham City style gritty,
Dude,
always raining turtle game. That'd be fucking awesome.
No cowabunga shit, just straight cutting throats and stabbing.
No, he can say it.
Cowabunga while you slit their throat.
Yeah.
Listen, he blows up a building. It's in the rain, nighttime, like Batman, the new one. And when he's walking away, he goes, "Cowabunga, motherfucker."
Yeah,
dude. Sure, why not? I mean, the original comics were like dark and gritty, so like it's not, you can't say it's like completely out of nowhere, you know. But
were they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it was also a
colors.
parody though. Yeah, it was a black and white comic, and the whole thing was actually a parody of Daredevil. That's why, like, there's the hand in Daredevil, so in Ninja Turtles, they're the foot, etc. Yeah. So it was all kind of like this, like, extremely over-the-top, edgy, hardcore parody of Daredevil, among other things.
Damn.
So
and then when they made
and they got rich.
And then they turned into a cartoon, and they had to really like make everything lighthearted. So they gave them all different colors. They were originally all red, like all the colors.
Yeah, I think they all had red. Yeah, but you know they got really rich, so they're okay.
Oh yeah. And then I mean, they made one 10-year-old Brett Larson very happy. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, the original cartoon was like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah,
it was
nothing
so
to top that.
Dude, the original live action movies, freaking amazing.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Except for 3.
I barely remember 3. I'm gonna be honest.
Like,
it's
1
probably
and 2,
a good
I know
thing.
well.
I didn't realize as a kid how much worse the costumes were in 3 because it wasn't Jim Henson anymore. But like, it's all right. They're fun movies. That's all right.
Did you guys see that there's like that one like half like 0.5 of a second of one of the turtles is laughing and you can see the guy's head like underneath the laugh.
Yeah.
Like you see his eyes and mouth.
See the mouth. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Isn't it?
Oh, you're talking
like
about the new movie, right? That animated film?
No, like the classic.
The original.
Oh, you're talking about the original. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like it's a lot more noticeable now that everything's in 4K restoration. You know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check that out. I never saw that.
Did anybody play Injustice 2?
Nah.
No.
Just I had the free download of it and played it for like a match, and then I was done.
Yeah. I will say that the combat and the Ninja Turtle combat, because the Ninja Turtles are a selectable character, and I don't think he plays one. You like switch off, I think, between Leo and you call Michelangelo in, and he like skateboards in as like a buddy assist and like clobbers your enemy with a skateboard. That's
pretty dope.
And it's just like
it's
it's like the sickest modern combat outside of like a beat 'em up game where the Ninja Turtles feel like I would want a whole game to play like, you know, something similar to this. But if you get a chance, like please just even look at the gameplay. It just looks fun as hell.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I forgot they were in that.
So there's not even like an announced developer on this last Ronin game. It's just like, it exists and it's gonna be amazing. Watch out for it. So I don't know. Stay tuned for that game in like literally 2027, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, there
point,
it is.
Right?
Jesus Christ, that is terrifying.
Hey,
what in the hell?
I don't think we need to zoom in on that.
Yeah, I think
Zoom
I've
in
seen all
on
I need to see.
Oh man.
Zoom in on it.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Show me the man inside the turtle. Show him to me.
All right. So with that nightmare out of the way, I guess we're
Nightmare.
basically on to what we're playing, and we can kind of roll in a little bit of Resident Evil 4 into that. But
Yeah,
I think we should start off with Mary, because Mary was at
Yeah.
PAX.
Thank
Max,
you.
Mary did
Yeah.
PAX stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Black
Hey,
stuff.
Yeah,
I was gonna
tell us
say
about
that, and
PAX
Mary,
stuff.
I was just gonna ask that you talk about Dead Island for just a minute because I'm dying to play
Yeah.
that game.
So Dead Island 2, like it looks good, it runs good. Like I was like in the zone the entire time. Like I'm on a show floor surrounded by people. There's a lot going on, but I was just like laser focused on that game. And it was just so satisfied. And I ran out of ammo, which kind of sucked. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna use an axe. I love the katana, like going for like heads, chopping off limbs. Like it's just
It looks just so over the top. Like
yeah,
crazy.
it's
I
so
love it.
over the top, but it's so good. Like
Yeah.
it
Fuck
hits
yeah.
that right, like happy medium of like, this is really over the top. This is really kind of crazy, but it makes sense that I'm digging it. You know?
When I saw the developers say they had never before seen dismemberment physics, I knew I was in. Like that's all I had to hear.
It's
So like not
mean,
quite
yeah,
the
like-
level of like Shadow Warrior or something like that, but still enough
Yeah.
like crazy melee shit.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I've seen some fucking wild stuff on some
Yeah,
of the,
and there
the
was like
replays.
this like rage mode that you can go into, and you can just like claw and like punch zombies. And I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I was like, I'm hitting the button and we're gonna see what happens. Because like whenever I made the appointment, they just kind of like, here's your station, here you go, have fun. And I was like, okay, bye. So
So
No,
I know
but,
that
I
I know
mean-
the combat's going to be really dope and like the environment and like the you know all that. But one thing I'm slightly worried about is did it seem like it's like kind of corny? Like I know you didn't play enough of it to really know like
Yeah.
story wise, but
yeah, and the demo that they had at PAX didn't really give you a lot of story. It was just very like you have like a checkpoints you're trying to hit. You know, it's a pretty straightforward for like a demo. Some of the dialogue I was like, okay, this is kind of corny, but like I said, I think it's like
I
it
think
all
it's on
depends on like
purpose, though.
yeah, what's being said, how it's being delivered. Like
Sure,
there's
yeah.
so much that goes into making it work. I know like we've talked about Forspoken is like a good recent example of like sometimes that dialogue just doesn't hit because of timing, writing, delivery, you know. But I was like, okay, you know, like this feels like it belongs
Yeah.
here.
Very
you know?
aware
How'd you
of
feel
itself
about-
kind of dialogue.
How'd you feel about gun variety? Did you think that the demo was going to be more that it showcased more of like traditional weapons that were going to be in the game, or did it like give the impression that it's going to be customizable weapons or crafting weapons like the first one?
I feel like it's going to be customizable because they equipped you with like a pretty wide variety of weapons. Like there were some very heavy hitters. The katana is like a very nice, quick, you know, but like there was like a hammer, an axe. There was even like kind of like a dual like claw sort of thing. There was like a pistol and I think like a rifle. And then some of the weapons applied like status effects like bleed, electricity, fire. It felt very like I'm gonna be able
Like-
to play this like the way I want to play it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's kind of what I gathered. It seems like it's best meant to be, it's like meant to be played best using like melee weapons instead of like guns, which is cool because
Yeah.
that reminds me of Dying Light. Like a lot of that was really fun, like attaching like something that would like turn your bat into like electricity and like shock him as you hit him, that kind of stuff. Yeah, super excited about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it too. And like I went through like a huge stint of like zombie games like back in like the 360 days, you know, like Call of Duty, like Zombies, Left 4 Dead, Dead Island. Like I played like a ton of them. And then I guess I got burnt out from them because I played so much of them and they all just started to
Same.
blend together. But this is like, okay, I'm interested again in like a nice just zombie hack and slash game.
What were the
Cool.
what about like the like health and like armor? Was it just like your health and med kits, or did you have like any bulletproof vests or like additional armor plates or anything like that?
I noticed health and med kits. I didn't notice if I had armor equipped.
Oh my
So
god,
that
the
was the big
Those
Wolverines.
claws.
Did you see the Wolverine claws?
Yeah.
That's
I am
sick.
fucking equipping those the second I get them. That looks awesome.
Yeah, those were fun. I had something
That's
like
cool.
that in the demo, but I kind of dug the giant hammer. It was so slow, but it hit so good.
Yeah, when you connect with it.
I,
Monster Hunter
swung
vibes.
it. Yeah, like I swung it and like it kind of went into slow-mo because like I hit like 5 of them that were like trying to all attack me at once, and they all just like get hit and like stagger
Oh,
backward
yeah.
dramatically.
I love it. I
So,
love that shit. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Um,
Dude, April's gonna be insane. There's Dead Island 2,
There's
there's
a
Tears
lot.
of the Kingdom, and there's the
Mhm.
Star Wars
Well,
Jedi
Tears of the Kingdom
Survive.
is May.
is May, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Why was I thinking that was next month?
The Switch
Okay.
OLED comes out next month.
Maybe that's the date I have.
Big
Yeah.
hype.
But still, between April and May, it's like holy shit. There's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, some other stuff I played, like I have to talk about, of course, Cult of the Lamb, Relics of the Old Faith expansion. Got to play that. One of the people who got to play it first, they were there all weekend with it. Like, it's a huge quality of life stuff, but also like they're adding like new combat mechanics, accessibility features, in-game stuff. That's like a massive free update that they're doing. There's no release date yet, but
Oh, it's
it was
free. That's
fun.
cool.
Yeah, and like I believe it's the creative director who was my PR contact while I was there playing the game, was like, not a lot of people have beaten the boss, it's kind of hard. It's like we really upped the difficulty, and I was like, okay, cool, challenge accepted. Now I have to go into gamer mode because you told me it was hard. So, and I beat it.
I hear that and I cry and I crawl into a corner. You hear that, you're like, let's fucking go.
I'm like, all right. Lord of the Rings Gollum was actually pretty cool. Like, I'm
was
not
it?
I've
like,
heard that.
so like I don't know like a huge amount of Lord of the Rings, I will like admit it,
No,
but
yeah.
like, I was like, okay, but this is like a game from like a fairly small-ish studio. I feel like it's not like a studio that I've heard a lot, at least. Maybe that's just me and like my core of like games that I play. But Data Lake Entertainment is the one behind it, and like it was an in development game demo, so like some of like the textures and the lighting were like a little, but I was like, okay, it's a very early look at it, but there's a lot of potential, and like there's something really cool too, where there's actually like decision making based on like it's an internal argument between like Gollum and Smeagol, and like can you win the internal argument, and if you don't, you do something, versus if you had different than like if you had won it. So like during the demo, it was like the Gollum was like going on like eat the bug, smash the bug, blah blah, play the bug.
Precious.
He was like, no, it's just a bug. Yeah, we don't have to eat the bug. But I lost the argument. So he jumps, tries to catch it, and then falls down a giant cavern into like this other area. And I was like, oh, so like if you lose the argument, you could really end up somewhere different.
That's interesting though.
I didn't know there was
Yeah.
like it would like branch off to different paths.
Yeah.
That's
So
kind of cool.
it was a really pleasant surprise, and like I feel like there's a lot of potential with it. Needs a little bit more polish, obviously. Like I said, it was just an in development demo. But I was like, this could be pretty cool.
Huh.
So
Yeah, I was never really ever able to make heads or tails of this game.
Yeah.
Like, it always kind of looked weird to me. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear somebody's liking it.
I just always thought that playing as him as the main character seemed like an odd choice. Like he seems like someone that'd be fun to have as like a sidekick in a game, but not to play as.
Right.
So I always thought that was kind of weird, but yeah, maybe
yeah,
they pull it
it's
off.
definitely
Who
a bit
knows?
more stealth based, because you are just this tiny little creature.
Ooh, you're speaking my language. I love
Yeah,
me some
so like
stealth.
it's a more stealth based, a bit more like navigating around your environment, not getting caught. So but I thought it was looking pretty good.
So Gollum's the one thing to get your mercy today.
What? No, I was happy with Tears of the Kingdom. I just wasn't happy with the OLED.
Or the controller, or the case.
Any of it. I played a bunch of other things. I'm gonna make like a ton of like, I'm getting press kits and whatnot, so I'll have like a ton of like TikToks and YouTube videos going up. But I guess I'll just end it on a Pacific Drive, because I think, did we talk about Pacific Drive here? It sounded familiar, and I couldn't remember if one of you had mentioned it.
We talked about it. It was on a game stream.
Okay,
right. It was on something
here.
we live reacted to, I thought.
Okay,
like
but
we did
yeah.
we did one of those shows, anyways.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but it was on the show floor, and I was like, okay, like I should go check this out. You know, like I know that we talked about it somewhere, and I was like, let me go like check out the demo, and it's creepy. It's cool. I thought I was gonna die during the demo, and I was very stressed out while playing it. I told the developer that who was there. He's like, "So how are you doing?" I was like, "I'm very stressed." He's like, "Good. That's how you should feel." So
John's like, "I'm already
got
out."
It's like this cool atmospheric, thing. At one point, I'm just in my car, and this giant robot comes up, grabs my freaking car, and drags me into the forest. And I'm like,
wow.
I don't know if I can fight this thing. I don't know if it's gonna eat me. I didn't die, so I'm good. But
so the entire
Also, I learned.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I learned if you don't park your car while you're on a hill, it will just
roll.
What? So yeah.
That's funny.
So I had to like run and hop back in my car to prevent it from just going off without me.
That's great.
It's like threw the parking brake on.
I'm definitely interested in that game. It looks like really like kind of out there, very strange, like one of those very unique games that could be really cool. So what's like the gameplay loop though? Because all I've seen is just like driving around in like these really cool environments and like it looks awesome, but I have no idea what the hell it is.
It's one of those things where it's like there's like weird weather conditions going on, and like your goal is to like get better equipped to keep traveling like further and further like into the world, and like as you get further in, you start to learn like why things are the way they are, like how you got there, sort of thing.
Okay.
So, but of course, it gets more dangerous, the further you're able to travel. So. But
so it's basically just like upgrading your car the further you go, and like making sure it's always in good shape and repaired.
Yeah.
And looks like you're always adding stuff onto the vehicle to be able to get further and further.
Yeah, and like you repair it up. So I thought it was pretty neat. Pretty creepy, but pretty neat.
Cool.
Is it just coming to PlayStation and PC? Like just like as
I thought it was Xbox and
can't
it was a Game Pass game.
remember if it was all of them.
Just PlayStation, Steam, and Epic Games.
Oh, I thought
no, but I was gonna say like man, that looked like a great PSVR 2 game.
Yeah, it's PS5, Steam, and Epic Games. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know why I was thinking the opposite.
I mean, yeah, like PSVR, I could see them eventually maybe bringing it to PSVR 2, because like with how like you have to like equip like the blowtorch to like fix your car up, and like filling it with gas too. And turning the stupid key to turn it on. I felt like an idiot, because like most games aren't like you have to turn your vehicle on. You just get in your vehicle and go. And so I'm just sitting there, and I was like, am I missing something? And he was like, just turn your car on. And I was like, oh.
Could you imagine running back to your car in VR to put the parking brake on? Like that just like,
oh my God.
That seems like
just turn. It's like,
I love that for you.
But
it kind of has vibes of, there's an indie game called Far Lone Sails where you're on like this boat, and it's 2D, but you're essentially just going from point A to point B, and you have to constantly be like adding things to your boat to make it stronger to be able to get through certain areas, and like repairing it. It almost kind of has that vibe where it showed like in the garage, he's constantly adding different things to it. And I almost kind of wonder if it's got that same type of loop mechanic to it.
Yeah, but I thought it was cool. I was happy that I was able to check it out. So
Cool.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Any other highlights you want to mention from PAX?
I have so many I could go on, but I did
I
propose
know.
to the lamb from Cult of the Lamb. They actually had a person like in the little lamb costume. And in the game, your
No
followers
way.
propose to you and you can marry them. And I was like, sitting there, I was like, would it be weird if I proposed to the lamb? And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And the lamb said yes. And then we did a little
Oh,
dance.
that's sick.
Oh wow.
Yay!
I have it on
Well, that's
video.
nice.
I need to make it.
So she
TikTok
really is.
out
She
of it.
really is a polygamist, John. You were right.
I only speak in truths.
Right.
Oh.
All right. Well, cool. Let's see here. Let's throw it over to Greg. What you playing,
Yo.
bud?
Played some Resident Evil 4.
What's that?
Really like.
Yeah, is that new?
It's an okay game. I don't know if you've
Uh.
ever heard of it. It's got zombies and infected people in it, and it's literally the best game.
Sounds pretty mid. Sounds pretty mid.
Medieval
No, but
4.
but I do like what I played so far. It does seem a lot more, I think, like I think Mary mentioned it last time, like she's never like playing it didn't feel like it was overwhelming or like tough or like I forget what you said exactly, but I never feel like I'm gonna be out of ammo. I never feel like
unfair.
yeah, the enemies never feel like overwhelming. Although like the first part you get to where they're all in like different levels and like the wood platforms, and like I'm stepping in fucking bear traps, I'm getting hit by
Dude,
dynamite, and I'm just like
those fucking bear
pissed
traps.
off more than anything.
I think I've stepped in every goddamn bear trap in that entire game. I
Just your
swear to God.
eyeballs.
I feel like they don't take any health though
They
in this game,
don't.
which is
I
good. They
think
just
it's
they
just meant
hold
to
you
slow
up.
you
Like they
down,
hold
yeah.
you.
What? They don't
Yeah.
take health?
Uh-uh.
That's cheap. I lost so much
It's-
health
I
to
like
the
it.
original to those.
Wait,
Good.
Easier to
I'm
see in the
What?
original.
If
Bear
they took
traps.
health, I would be
Oh,
dead
really?
like 20 times. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I went through this one part, there was like 4 in a row, and I was like, fuck off. And then I like didn't realize you could just stab them with a knife. And so I'm like,
Oh, you
walking
can?
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it. Does it damage your knife?
No.
I'm done.
I
As
can't
long
I'm
as
remember.
you
done with this
use-
shit. I'm done.
As long as you use L1 and then R2. If you
So
use the
just,
main
like,
knife,
you
it
stab.
will.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
All this
But-
time I've sat there crying as you hear him grunting like a little bitch to open this bear trap.
Leon? He's right
Yeah.
here.
He goes,
Yes, he is. He is right there.
And my wife has saved every thirst trap of Leon that there is on the internet. She's like, hey, how about you do a special segment on the show where I just talk about Leon thirst traps? And I'm like,
Yeah, let's do it.
she's probably down. She'll do it.
Yeah.
No, but I think overall, like I feel I honestly should not have got the deluxe edition because it came with the extra weapon, and I equipped it, and
There's
it's
no
like,
room.
it's not even that. I just feel like it's like a little too much right off the bat. I'd rather just go at it with the regular pistol and shot
What's
it
the
and
weapon?
then just make. It's like
Yeah,
the I forget what the gun is, but
Is
it
that
has like
TMP?
no, not the TMP. It's a pistol, but it has a it's a
The Punisher?
lever action shotgun with
Oh, they
like,
give
and then
you both.
and then the pistol has a extended clip in it, and I forget what else. I think that, but the accuracy is the same. But I was like, why do I have both of them? And I was like, I just much rather just have like the regular pistol and run through the game like that. Never feel like, even when the chainsaw dude comes, or like the other dude with like was wearing like a pig mask and like had an axe.
I
Like it
that
never
enemy.
felt like I hit him like with a bunch of shotgun blasts, meleeed him, and he was dead. And I was like, oh, I was hoping for a little bit more of a stress test and run around the
Dude,
area a little
it gets
bit more.
pretty stressful later in the game.
I was gonna say, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I bet it's
Which-
coming because I feel
No
the same. Like it's
ammo,
almost
like-
felt like I haven't been tested all that much. But I'm not.
Like,
I'm only
could-
to like the lake, with being as vague as possible where I'm at.
During one of the boss
Yeah.
fights, I had like no bullets. I was like running around trying to find bullets of any sort just so I could shoot them. And I was like, Jesus, this game's going all out. But it is cool that like it always knows where you are with ammunition. So it'll always give you exactly what you need.
Huh.
Yeah, and I like the little stuff like shooting like the thing on the little windmill, the little glass container, and it breaks and you get the pearl necklace, or like shooting crows, you can get pesetas to use. And I like that there's like additional elements to like explore and kill and just see what's out there other than just like villagers killing them and moving on to the next section. Oh man, the game is gorgeous. Like,
oh yeah,
I think I have it cranked up. Like, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to run it at max settings, and it performs absolutely great. The only thing I'm pissed about is that it's locked at 60 FPS, and I really want to push it to like 165 or 120. But yeah, outside of that, played some Halo, inching closer to becoming a Halo Infinite Pro multiplayer player with Brett Medlock on my team.
Sounds pretty boring stuff.
Full time soon.
Yeah, I think I'm at like
of course he
gold,
starts playing like
4.
right whenever I stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't hear Brett play it that much anymore.
I still play it like probably almost every day, but like not for long periods of time, just like a match or two.
Yeah, see, now it's like I'd rather play that instead of Apex. And
nice.
I'm making my way through. I think I just hit gold 4. But yeah, the usual Apex Legends, Rocket League. I've been playing a little bit of that Stormfront game on the Wii U. It was like one of the ones that I downloaded. It was like $2.99, but it's like very much like Total Carnage or
I remember this game now.
Super Smash TV. Yeah, it's not that hard right off the bat, but I'm hoping that it does crank up. But like some of the sound effects and enemy animations and deaths are like exactly like Total Carnage and shit. So I'm digging it.
Yeah, very old school. Cool.
Yeah, I just hate that my Wii U has a broken vibrator motor. So whenever like
you got a broken vibrator,
yeah,
weird.
It like it makes this like every time it's supposed to vibrate, and that is the most annoying thing in the world.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Huh? Well, that's too bad. All right then. Well, it looks like we're up to Brett.
Which one?
L, right?
Yeah, the one that has a body.
All right. The one that you can actually see, and it isn't Jim crying Ryan.
Yeah.
So I wrote a few down just because it's actually been like 2 weeks since I've been on the show, because 2 weeks ago my dad was here, so I wasn't on, and then last week you guys just did a one-on-one, or did we not do a show period last week?
Yeah,
there was no
the
live
one-on-one
show
last week. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks. So in that time since I've been on the show last, I beat Atomic Heart. I beat The Quarry. I beat Forspoken. And Brett's not going to believe me. He claims that he doesn't believe me, and I have a bone to pick with him on this. So I beat those games, and it was the night before Resident Evil 4. I just finished The Quarry, and I was like, I need a quick, easy game to beat before Resident Evil 4 comes out tomorrow. And as I've told you guys before in the past, Inside is one of my favorite all-time games. And I'm like, that's a quick 3-hour game or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to download it and play it. I downloaded it, started it at like midnight, beat it at like 3:30 in the morning. I didn't work the next day. And I tell Brett about it the next day. He goes, no, you didn't. I'm like, what do you mean? No, I didn't. He's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, what do you mean I didn't believe? What is there not to believe? Why would I make this up? He's like, you just wanted to add a quick game to GG. You didn't actually play it. I'm like, you motherfucker. Yes, I did.
Listen, I told him because I knew he was going to lie and do this. So that's why I was like, the night before when he said he was thinking about playing it, I said, play it on Xbox so you get the achievements. Because if you're going to play through a game, you might as well play it on another platform just to have like the achievements, even if you don't even really care about them. Like
But yeah,
like I'll do that. Like I'm playing through Resident Evil 4 right now on Xbox, even though I own it on PS4, just because it's like, oh well, I might as well get these achievements. I told him to do that, and he didn't. And I was like, well, that's weird. He could have easily played it on Xbox and got those, but now there's no receipts. So,
but I already have it installed on my PlayStation 5. Why would I re-download it on Xbox just to prove that I fucking played
it's a
3-hour game?
One gigabyte game. It'll take like 10 seconds to download.
I even the next day went and showed him, because you can do chapter select. I went through each chapter and showed him up until credits that I played it. And he goes, you probably just uploaded an old save. I'm like, dude, you think I went through all this just to pretend like I played a 3-hour game?
I think you probably played through like the first hour, and then you were like, well, I've already beat this, and I remember it. I'm just gonna add it to GG.
I was loving it. It's the first time I played it. It's only the second time I've ever played it. And it's the first time since it came out in 2016. So like a lot of that was like, I forgot so much, and man, it totally reminded me why I love that game so much. And then the next day Resident Evil 4 came out, and I've been playing that ever since. And we've kind of all talked a little bit about that, so I won't go too far into it.
We haven't talked at all about Resident Evil 4. At least I haven't.
But I mean, everyone's going to say a little piece on it. I haven't played it as much as I would like to have. Like I said, I'm at the infamous lake part, and
you're early.
I really am liking it. Yeah, I haven't played too much. I'm really enjoying it quite a bit, actually. But I did just play this game for the first time last year, so almost part of me wishes I hadn't played it last year, because
don't you say that,
because it's just so fresh on my memory that it's not that I'm bored or it's ruining it for me. I just kind of wish this was my first time experiencing it, because it really is so
it's
good.
Different.
I agree.
Like,
it's boring.
It's different though. Like it's not like this doesn't just replace the old game. Like this is a
for
new
sure.
game.
No. You're right. No, absolutely. There's a lot of it that's separate and different from the original, for sure. One thing that's cool is my son, who is actually a pretty big Resident Evil fan. This is one of the only ones he hasn't played, Resident Evil 4, because he tried to play the original, and him being a 13-year-old said, "Nah, that's pretty mid." And he couldn't get past like the original,
opening
like, tank controls.
Song,
yeah. He couldn't do the tank controls.
My wife just started the original, and she immediately was able to beat that beginning section. So you better go tell him to play the original. God damn it!
Yeah, he was stubborn, and he's just spoiled kid that's used to like these fancy controls and gameplay that we have now, and he just But my point of bringing that up is it's cool that he is finally playing it, and he's actually really liking it. He's quite a bit further than I am, even, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention. Brett was saying that the Leon's movements in the demo, it felt drunk. Like he was like drunk, right?
He still feels drunk.
No, he doesn't.
I know, but I found that like when you're surrounded by enemies, it makes them a little bit more mobile to like wade through people. Like I found that like I noticed it, but I also noticed that like moving through a crowd of people is like much easier to get away with that kind of movement. But I just didn't know if that was something you noticed again after playing the demo and then playing the game. But at least for me, it just felt more natural in crowded areas that Leon does have that movement about him.
Yeah.
He moves like he left the club at 4 a.m. after drinking all night.
I had to unmute to respond, so it took me forever to click it.
Yeah.
Okay, disembodied Brett, give us your thoughts.
Are you sure you guys are ready for this? I mean, how long is this episode going to
be? Jesus Christ.
I told you 4 hours. We're only halfway through.
We're going to wind up like
guys.
real soon when you're done.
Okay.
Real soon.
Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time, as you guys know. So let me just start off with the bad. Okay? Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. The voice acting in this game, not only am I pissed that a lot of people were actually everybody was recasted, but a lot of them sound absolutely terrible. What the hell is wrong with Ada's voice? It is not the same as even Resident Evil 2 remake. Ada, they recasted her
really?
again. They can't even keep the same people for the remake series. Now
I
they're
don't get
recasting
that.
every game because they just recasted Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 8. That's not the guy who played him in Resident Evil 7. So every single game now, we can just expect a different voice actor for every single fucking iconic character that's supposed to have some type of continuity that they just do not care about at all. Now, aside from that, Salazar, hate his new design. It's absolutely terrible. He looks like a grandma.
Looks like an old grandma.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his hat, and the voice I don't like it. Krauser, his voice is supposed to be like more gruff and like, I heard you. They said I died in the crash 3 years ago. Is that what they told you? Like that's how it's supposed to sound. But now he sounds more, yeah, that's what we're gonna do now.
He's like,
yeah.
He's like, hey Leon. Hey Leon, how are you?
It's not. It just doesn't have that deep grumble that the original has, and that bothers me. And now I will say, I've listened to interviews with the voice actor. He's talked about how he loves Resident Evil 4, and this was years ago I listened to it. But I've not liked his Leon in Resident Evil 2 or in Resident Evil. Oh yeah, he was just in 2, right? Yeah. Oh no, he did the Netflix series, which I watched like an episode of, and I didn't like it.
Backhanded
But in this
compliment. I
one-
listened to one.
I felt like in this game, he is actually trying to be RE4 Leon, which I really appreciate. And sometimes his voice actually sounds really close to Paul Mercier, who played him in 4. But then every once in a while, he still sounds like his kid self. Like the voice actor naturally has like a young guy voice, and Leon's not like a 17-year-old in this game. He's like I don't know, 28 or something. I don't remember. But he sounds too young sometimes. And that bothers me. And it's really going to bother me whenever he's starting, actually in the Netflix series, that's like Leon in modern times. And he's like 40 or something. He sounds like a 18-year-old, and that bothers me. But anyway, so voice acting stuff aside, the game's really, 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 really good. It's really true to the original. I like some of the changes in level design and in combat scenarios, but I'll be honest, most of the changes, they seem pointless. I don't like them, and I wish they would have just stuck to the original when it came to just the level design, adding random sections where like instead of going across this, you're going to drop down, go below, and then go across this. Like it's just random things. It's like, well, that was a weird change. But I will say, coming from someone who knows the original front to back, it was really cool how they would change the level design, but then they would rework it so that it would somehow turn into the next section. Like I would immediately recognize the next room. It was like, oh, they attached this to that, which was interesting. Like this game kind of feels like the Cliff Notes version of the original, because they did cut out a lot of sections, like a lot of environments they cut out, and some combat sections, but they did add stuff. I will say there's one section with another El Gigante, the Giants, that is different from the original, but it's really cool and really intense and just really action packed. And I felt like it captures the original in spirit, despite being a totally different scenario, which is really neat. And as for the combat, I still think Leon feels weird. Like I just got done playing Resident Evil 8, and Ethan doesn't feel nearly as drunk as Leon feels. He feels like he's fumbling around, like tripping every time he moves. And I don't get that. The knife, I don't like that it breaks. Like I never liked it. It bothered me in the demo. It bothered me the entire game. And it sucks because I actually do like how the knife is utilized in the combat. It's a pretty big change from the original. How you can like make someone stumble or something, and then run up on them and cut their head. Stab their head. Like that's really cool. But I hate that, like, every time you do it, you're sacrificing not being able to use your knife in the future when it's more important. Right. So a lot of the time I'm like, well, I want to use my knife because this would be an easy, fun kill, but I don't want to have too much fun because then I got to worry about my knife breaking for a boss fight. So, yeah, so that was kind of annoying. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why they changed that.
I saw that in the El Gigante, the first boss fight, you expose his weak point, you stun him, and then you run up and you start like slicing at his thing, and you're losing weapon durability just for slicing him.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What the hell is that? Like,
I like that I saw
I
people
don't
were
get
like,
it.
it'd be too OP if the knife didn't break. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's
It
the
would be
point.
fun. That's
It's
why
fun when it is fun having an OP knife.
Yes. Yeah.
it does not. I just feel like that like making the knife break does not capture the original at all. Like I feel like in the original it was all about feeling like empowered. Like you're weak at times, you have no ammo at times, you're scared at times. But sometimes when the moment hits, you have a lot of ammo, you're feeling strong, and you don't have to worry about your fucking knife breaking. So yeah, that it just bothered me in this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Sorry.
It just no. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that, Mary?
No, I was gonna say like kind of the same thing. Like whenever I played the original, it was like, yeah, like there were times when I was like, okay, I'm good, I have ammo. But it's like, but the knife was always a nice little fallback, in case it's like, oh shit, like I'm starting to run kind of low on shotgun shells. I don't really have a whole lot of pistol ammo. I can just like slice some of like, the easy guys down and like save my ammo for like something bigger. So it was like it's a plan B by that point. It wasn't, plus full knife runs were fun from what I heard. I've never done it.
And there are two knives. I don't know if we've specified that.
You can pick up a kitchen knife too, yeah.
Yeah, there's like stabbing knives, and then there's like your combat knife. And I think they both break. I can't remember. No, I think one's always available to like open boxes and stuff, but like it's not very useful during combat, like the combat knife is. Yeah. So aside from that, damn it, I had it and now I lost it. What we just we're talking about a knife and then dang it, I was something I really wanted to talk about. So yeah, a lot of the sections throughout this game very true to the original, slight redesign. Sometimes I don't mind like the small ones, but when there's like a huge one, and it just kind of bothers me. It's like it's supposed to be like the original, guys. Come on, why are you changing it that much? that's how I feel whenever I was playing. I was like, this is just going too far. But keep and I want anyone listening to realize that I'm not a normal person when it comes to this game. So you're probably not going to care about anything that I care about. I pretty much guarantee that. No one cares about the level design being true to the original. No one cares about the voice acting. And that's me. That's what I'm all about. But yeah, there is one spot though that's not in the original that I was like, now that is Leon. That yes, they did it. Where these two chainsaw girls, their chainsaws come to the wall and they're about to like chop off Leon's head. So like any other person, your instinct would be to duck, and he literally runs up the wall and does a backflip instead.
Because he's Leon.
I just thought that was like hilarious.
Thanks for spoiling it, you jerk.
Yeah,
you wouldn't even have noticed.
It's funny. My son was like, Dad, sometimes like the lines and some of the cutscenes are so cringe in this game. And I'm like, well, that's kind of on purpose. Like they're trying to stay true to what the original was. Very corny at times. They're trying to keep that corniness there in place.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Yeah, bingo. That's it.
What kind of bothered me though is like all the lines like that, like the most iconic ones, like no thanks, bro, and all that stuff. They're not in the game. But literally every single time I would notice, well, it sucks they took that out. At the end of that chapter, you get an achievement. It would always be the line that they cut. Like they made it the achievement name instead of it actually being in the game. So no thanks, bro is actually the name of a trophy.
How did no thanks, bro not make the cut? That's like no thanks, bro.
Yeah. But there's so much more I could talk about this game, but I'm not trying to take everyone's time. But yeah, it was really good. I don't think I'm gonna play it like I do the original. Like I play the original pretty much every year, and I'm still gonna continue to do that. This hasn't like replaced the original for me in any way. So I still probably will play this in the future because likely I'm gonna forget about everything, just like I did with Resident Evil 8, because I just replayed that and I didn't remember anything at all.
Cool.
But yeah, it was super good. I highly recommend it. I actually beat it during this podcast.
All right. Revelation.
Because I was on the last boss, like right when it started.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, I'm gonna finish this off. And that's when I muted for a while.
Oh, tonight you did?
Yeah, I just beat it probably like 30 minutes ago. 40.
You're talking about 8, right?
No, I beat RE4.
Oh, right now you just beat it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew you were close, but
yeah, I beat it. It was really solid.
Well, we got to kind of wrap this thing up. So I'll just say
Yeah.
real quick that I'm still chipping away at Like a Dragon Ishin, and like it's uh it's absolutely at the bottom of my Yakuza slash Judgment rankings. Like I'm not really liking this game a whole lot. It feels like 80% busy work, and still playing it. I've still put over 20 hours into it. It's just that I feel like I've also wasted 20 hours of my life, which is a shame.
Jesus.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Aw.
It's weird. Like I'm disappointed, but at the
Ishin?
same time, like I literally liked the last 10 games in this series in a row. So I feel like 10 out of 11 isn't bad, you know? Like
It
and
feels like something is off with the universe that you're not speaking highly of a Yakuza game.
I know.
It just doesn't.
Like,
It doesn't.
which
Yeah.
feel
John
right.
is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like.
Have you been
Like
hitting
it.
Krista? Have they brainwashed you, John? Are you okay?
Kit and Krista kind of loved this game.
Really?
So I don't know, man. Yeah.
Wow.
But like structurally, well, so this is a remake of a PlayStation 3 game, and like you feel it. Like they really
Mm.
didn't try to upgrade like much. Like even like the menus are like annoyingly clunky in a PlayStation 3 way. Like they just didn't bother trying to make it better. It's just like, well, that's how the PlayStation 3 menu was.
Jeez.
So it's
You
like
suffer
kind
along
of weird
with
and like
Yeah,
player.
it's weird.
yeah, and like I mean, before this they did Yakuza Like a Dragon and Lost Judgment, and like those games are like really beautiful and like play like modern games. And for this, it was just like, nope, we're doing this PS3 game again. We're up in the visuals. We'll tinker with the combat a little, and like that's it. So I was like, all right, whatever. The story so far, I would say, is like okay. Like I'm honestly like not like I don't dislike it. It's just I'm not highly engaged either. Whereas usually in like any Yakuza game, I'm usually pretty drawn in fairly quickly. I think I'm in like chapter 6 here, and I'm still just kind of whatever about the story. So I don't know. I think my enthusiasm will grow at least for the main story a little, but like the rest of the game, it really feels like busy work. So much of the game is like, all right, you've met this new character, and they call it a side quest when in reality you're doing like one super
have to
simple
do
thing
it.
for them for like 5 minutes, and then after that it wants you to like keep going back to them for like an hour. It's like, all right, talk to them, like give them this item and talk to them, leave, come
Mhm.
back, give them this item, leave, come back, give them this item, and that's
Awful.
most of the gameplay.
Yeah,
Or it's
Oh
like,
shit.
all right,
that's
build a
very
relation.
outdated.
Yeah, it's like, or build a relationship with the owner of this restaurant. Go to the restaurant, eat and drink food, leave, get hurt, come back. Go to the restaurant, eat, talk a little bit, get some health back, leave, get hurt, come back, eat, go to the restaurant. Like it's
Jeez.
like
It just seems like lazy storytelling almost. Like
It's-
it, you know what I mean? Like
well, like some of the side stories are still good. Like there is still times where I've been like, ah, this is classic funny nonsense from Yakuza, and this is what I want. But like it's just so much of it feels like padding. And like I don't want to ramble too long about this. It's just like the way the game is structured, it really incentivizes doing tons of busy work. And like I don't get it. And to be fair, the game's still reviewed well. I don't know what its Metacritic score is, but it's like around 80.
I thought it was
I
pretty.
think.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
and
the
like
eights. I thought.
for me, like generously, I'd give it a 7. Generously. Because like mechanically it sounds, well, no, that's not really true. I don't like the combat either. But
I knew that was coming. 81.
the voice acting's good. I could say that. The Japanese voice acting's good. I always like that. But no, yeah, I really don't like the combat either. And like I don't know. It's like it feels really unbalanced, and like equipping things is much more important in this game than in any other Yakuza. Usually you can just like punch people to death no matter what you're doing. Here, there's really no reason not to use swords or guns most of the time, and like I don't have any fun with it. Like I don't know, it's a shame. But
So
it
so
is
they
what-
they announced like 3 or 4 Yakuza games at that summit.
Yeah.
What's the next one that's coming out after this one?
So
Like
the next one, which I think is later this year, is a spin-off game where you're playing as Kiryu again, who is the main character of the whole franchise until Like a Dragon. And
Okay.
yeah, Eric's got it on screen now.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
playing as him, and this story takes place in between Yakuza 6, I think, and Yakuza 8. So it's showing what he was up to, Kiryu, what was up to, like during some of the events of
okay.
Like a Dragon, and then like what he was doing right before 8 starts. So I'm really hyped for this one because this is going back to like classic brawler gameplay, and I think they confirmed that this game brings back the Hostess Club, which is all I care about. So like, I'm preemptively assuming that this game will be fantastic. I'm super hyped for this. And then next year is Like a Dragon 8, which will be the next full-fledged like RPG sequel. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's gonna have both of them as the heroes, which I'm like hyped to
That's
the moon
cool.
for.
Yeah, that
I
is cool.
freaked out like crazy when I saw that. I was like, oh my god. I love both of these characters so much. So my enthusiasm for this franchise has not dwindled at all, despite this little hiccup with Ishin. So yeah.
I just want to
Cool.
shout out Dan was in the chat. Dan from Destructoid. I didn't realize he came in the chat for a minute. He might be gone now.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah, I just now noticed. Yeah. Hi, Dan. You're good people, Dan. And, and I did buy
You disappeared, John.
Yeah, you cut out.
There he is.
Oh, you're
now
back.
you're
Yep,
back.
you're back.
Cool. I did
That
nothing.
was weird.
That was just my computer. But as I explained in our chat, like I am actually gonna try Resident Evil again. I'm not gonna just completely quit this like I usually quit games. Like this game feels like it's trying to like give you stealth mechanics that didn't exist in the original version. So I tried being stealthy, and I found out immediately it's bullshit. Yes,
just
exactly.
Don't, like,
yeah, it ruined my entire experience, and it left me in just like a really bad mood. So I
it's stupid, and it's not Resident Evil 4 to begin with. I don't know why they tried to add those.
Yeah,
there's really only a couple times when you can legitimately sneak up, because I try it too. Like it's rare that there's an enemy that's just faced the opposite way and not moving.
Yeah,
it's like very rare that it's even possible though. Yeah.
Yeah. So because of that, like I have like a natural like item hoarding tendency in the first place. So the fact that it was trying to like tease stealth made me be like even more ammo conservative. And so I was just getting trashed because I was playing the complete opposite of how you're supposed to play the game. Because the stupid game made me think that I was supposed to be able to play that way when you can't.
Yeah, you
so,
really can't.
Yeah.
Good job, Resident Evil.
Real quick question to Brett, because he knows, because he's played the game 1,000 times. Is there anything else you can send to storage from the case other than first aid spray? And why is that the only thing you can? It drives me nuts. I want to send stuff to storage at will whenever I want, but that's the only thing you can, unless you're at like a merchant or whatever.
Or
at a typewriter, I mean.
There's no storage. Like, are you talking about in your case, like your attachment case?
Like when you're just looking through your case, you can send a first aid spray to storage, but nothing else.
That's not in the original at all.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
And
that's the
never
only
even
item
used
you
it
can.
In this game. I didn't even know. I forgot it was a thing in the remake, and I never used it.
It's kind of nice to do to clear up space when you need to, but like I was wondering if there's anything else you can. I think it's the first aid spray is the only thing though.
As advice to everyone who's about to play it or anyone listening, anytime you have an attachment case upgrade available at the merchant, always do that over like upgrading your guns and shit. It comes in handy so much.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
All right. There's our tip for the night. And with that, I think we are
thanks, Kevin.
Finally done.
By the way, Kevin gave us a $1.99 super chat.
Oh,
shit. Shout that out real quick.
Let's hold that out.
Appreciate it, Kevin.
Just a silent message.
He didn't leave a note.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
he just said good night, you guys, and well, thank
good
you
night,
so much.
Kevin. Good night, Bacon Strip.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Gosh, I hope that doesn't incentivize us to do these plus size shows every week.
Does it?
But
gonna get my way.
But you almost did
with us. If you've stuck with us this long, we really appreciate that. That means a lot. Means a lot to us to know that our glowing personalities have reached out and touched your souls. I think I'm going a little far with this, but I believe it.
Just close
makes the largest muscle in my body full.
And
also my heart. And
Okay.
Good one.
Snap.
Reference. Throwback.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
you
there
know
you
where to
go.
find all of us. You can find Mary and Brett at Destructoid. You can find Greg at his Dynamite Giraffe streaming. You can find Brett Larson at his house. You can find me closing this show. We'll see you next time. Thanks again, Eric. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you
See
guys.
ya.